Here at APL, our expertise and extensive network can help you grow your business and reach out to more global markets. As a responsible carrier, APL is also committed to a sustainable future, whether it's protecting the environment or investing our efforts in giving back to the community. Our dedicated teams in Guam, Saipan, and on U.S. mainland are here to support you. Call 588-4651 or visit www.apl.com.
Go green, go solar, and save big with Nambo Insurance. When you power up your home with solar panels, Nambo Insurance will pay up to $350 toward your power bill. With Nambo, you can enjoy great savings while going green and helping to save Guam's environment. At Nambo, it pays to go green. Terms and conditions apply. Visit Nambo.com or call 477-9754 for details. Nambo Insurance, proudly serving Guam for over 50 years.
Maryland's Republican governor is asking state education officials to end mask mandates in schools.
Governor Larry Hogan made the request in a letter to the president of Maryland's Board of Education. He said health professionals' recommendations, as well as vaccines now available for younger kids, make it time to take off masks in class. Hogan's letter followed a board statement earlier in the week that said metrics were being watched with an eye towards safe in-person instruction. Maryland ended indoor mask mandates last May, while schools kept the requirement in place. A spokeswoman for the state board thanked the governor for his input, saying the board plans to respond. Gernal Scott, Fox News.
Nevada's governor says masks are done, lifting a statewide mandate for public places while acknowledging they can still be required, including in schools and mass transit. A pricey painting is defaced with a doodle that gave it more of a face.
The 1930s painting Three Figures by Russia's Anna Leporskaya shows three people with hair but no facial features, or at least that's the idea. A gallery in the city of Yekaterinburg says the artwork has been vandalized by one of its own security guards, who took a ballpoint pen and added eyes. Russian media reports the painting is insured for more than $1 million. The gallery says the damage is repairable. In London, Simon Owen, Fox News.
This is worth a lot of money. A blockbuster deal in the NBA. The 76ers trading Ben Simmons out of Philadelphia to get a second star, James Harden, in a multiple-player deal with the Brooklyn Nets, first reported by ESPN. Sources telling the Associated Press the Sixers also get Paul Millsap, while the Nets get Seth Curry, Andre Drummond, and draft picks. An hour to the close on Wall Street, the Dow's down 523 points. And Lisa Brady, Fox News.
Family Finance has been serving the people of Guam since 1959, and they will continue to be there for you in the years to come. Get a personal loan for that summer vacation or to pay off those long overdue bills. Family Finance has got you covered. Apply for a personal loan from $1,000 up to $3,900 by calling Family Finance in Hagåtña, now at the old Nambo Insurance Building at 475-4545, Upper Tumon 647-5626, or in Dededo 633-4473. Family Finance, here to serve you.
Did you know that 1 in 50 employees open a phishing email every day? Introducing Lookout, the leading mobile security solution that fully protects your company from all mobile threats. Get Lookout Mobile Security for free with any Docomo Pacific Business Unlimited mobile plan. Some conditions may apply. Learn more at business.docomopacific.com. Docomo Pacific Business. Work better together.
Everyone has a busy schedule these days, and sometimes we forget to schedule our routine dental checkup and cleaning. Don't neglect your dental health. Schedule one today with Dr. Robert Yang and his Smile Team, conveniently located at the East West Business Center on Marine Drive, Upper Tumon. Call us today at 647-8702 or 3. Again, that's 647-8702 or 647-8703. We make smiles happen.
Guam Auto Spot has the best selection in Buick, GMC, Mitsubishi, and used cars like the 2021 Mitsubishi Mirage starting at $127 per paycheck, 0 down. Call 671-478-AUTO to take a test drive or get pre-approved online at guamautospot.com.
Off a day at 6:06. I'm Montesova Tyron with a look at your local news on the point. 2 COVID-19 related fatalities reported in this morning's Joint Information Center report. It's the 304th and 305th deaths reported. One man was a 48-year-old patient at GRMC who had underlying health conditions. The second, a 61-year-old man who also had underlying health conditions. 50 people with COVID-19 have been admitted to the hospitals, with 6 remaining in intensive care. Meanwhile, there were another 622 new cases of COVID-19 from the 2,437 people tested on February 9th. 76 of those new cases reported from the Department of Defense. Meanwhile, the governor has also called for an outreach initiative that she says is based on recent dead-on-arrival demographics. Operation Homebound will help reach underserved individuals who may need assistance with access to services, including COVID-19 testing and vaccinations, WIC, SNAP, Medicaid, MIP, and Medicare help. The outreach will include support from Public Health, the Office of Homeless Assistance and Homeless Coalition, and other partners. Operation Homebound will start in the village of Agana and then expand to other villages throughout the island. Well, beginning this weekend, tomorrow, in fact, COVID-19 vaccination support clinics for families with children with disabilities will begin. That's starting with the village of Barrigada. The clinic will run from 9 a.m. until noon at the Barrigada Mayor's office. You can make an appointment via Eventbrite. Also, something to take note of is the UOG vaccination clinic this weekend, and starting from Saturday moving forward, it will have new operating hours, and it'll run from 11 a.m. until 5 p.m. Well, more news right after this.
Half a day, this is Congressman Nicholas. While local COVID-19 testing has unfortunately become less available lately, there are 4 free at-home federally available COVID tests that you can have to test yourselves and your families as needed. Please contact your congressional office at 671-475-6453 or at michael.snicholas@mail.house.gov to find out how we can help you access those tests.
This ad was paid for with official funds from the Office of Congressman Michael F.Q. San Nicolas.
From the Guam Daily Post this morning, the Consolidated Commission on Utilities met yesterday to discuss pay adjustments for top officials at GWA and GPA, as well as the CCU board secretary. They've agreed to bump up the salary of at least one of their officials. The GPA's chief financial officer, John Kim, was granted a pay increase. The only commissioner to vote against it was Simon Sanchez. The CCU voted to raise Kim's base salary from $135,000 to $140,000. The remaining GPA and GWA employees who were up for discussion didn't get enough votes to obtain adjustments, or there wasn't a motion to increase their pay just yet. Meanwhile, the Office of Public Accountability, or the OPA, has dismissed a procurement appeal filed by G4 Security Systems for a wireless internet installation project at the public schools because of a questionable document signed by the recently resigned executive director of the contractor's licensing board, Cecil Buddy Orsini. Orsini, you might recall, resigned last week after questions were raised over his involvement in another appeal that was submitted related to an airport contract. In both of the procurement appeals, the OPA dismissed the protesting bidders claimed that the winning bidder didn't have a contractor's license, that is, as required to be awarded to a government contract. The OPA in this latest appeal raised questions and concerns over documents submitted, which didn't get the approval of the board. According to the Post, the governor, in a media briefing this week, said that she is looking for an individual to replace Orsini. In the meantime, she has tapped Linda Ibanez to serve in that position. Meanwhile, an unruly student at GW High School caused that school to be locked down for a bit yesterday morning. DOE said that the student was out of control and acting erratically. The police were called and a search of the campus was done. And all's clear was given about 10 a.m. yesterday. And those are your top stories here on The Point. Here's Ray with your weather.
It's just how are we defining unruly in this case?
I don't know.
I mean, you got brothers.
You're always unruly. Lock it down.
I'm thinking, real Joe, have you ever been the cause for a lockdown at the school?
Out of line, yes.
I'm just thinking, if you're not, then you just aren't living up to your potential. It seems to me that everybody at one time in their life should be the reason why John Fernandez steps into the fray in the middle of a workday to say, yeah, we had to shut things down because there was a beyond control student in the school these days. Interesting story and a great way to start off a Friday. Mostly cloudy skies in the forecast. Expected highs today are going to be near 86 degrees. East-northeast winds up to about 14 miles an hour. We've got partly cloudy skies along with some possible isolated showers this evening. Overnight lows 76. Northeast winds around 11 miles an hour. Into the weekend, mostly sunny tomorrow and then mostly cloudy on Sunday night. So it looks like if there's going to be some grill marks that you might want to get those on Saturday, Sunday, kind of touch and go. They're talking about some scattered showers. Daytime highs through most of the weekend, about 86 degrees with the heat index. It'll feel light 90. Still rip current warnings that are being posted out there, so be careful around the edges of the reefs. Sunrise this morning, 6:45. Sunset tonight is going to be at 6:25. There's news and weather together, brought to you by Bank Pacific. Banking on the Pacific for, how many is it, Joe? 67?
That's right.
67 years.
Attention! Lolita Kamet is now with Hoffaday Realty. She'll always be that hardworking and passionate real estate professional who is committed to helping you make a difference in your life and helping you achieve the American dream of home ownership. She also specializes in commercial leasing, land sales, local residential sales leasing, military and corporate relocation. So for all your real estate needs, call Lolita Kamet now with Hoffaday Realty at 688-6743. That's 688-6743.
Tori tempo gagi hami isla tanota Nayatsung yedi tempo ipesino itingo West Attic Hanabanco Sabeka Sivishu Bank Pacific The Ocean Long Promise Hami Holly.
This is how we do it. Welcome to the program. Excuse the mess. Well, not quite. Portions of the program brought to you by APL American President Lines, a global presence with a local home. And it's Valentine's weekend. It's Valentine's week, not Valentine's Day. Note how I say this, guys. It's Valentine's weekend. You can get a jump on it. You know what Jack Larimer did already? Jack Larimer already has one of these gorgeous pictures of him and Dee posted up, and it's a huge, it's like one of the big pictures, like professional photography grade pictures of him and Dee posted up on Facebook the Friday before Valentine's. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm saying level unlocked, Jack.
Preemptive.
Outstanding.
But that guy, that's Valentine. He has Valentine's every day.
That's my
And
point.
two of them.
That's my point.
Get a room.
Valentine's week, get a room. Share your love with Cold Stone Creamery, and they got all kinds of different ice cream cake going. The one that we've been talking about, the fresh chocolate dipped strawberry. My God, they found strawberries. We've been featuring red velvet cake, strawberry fluff frosting, and cascading chocolate ganache. I'm choking on my own toilet here while I'm talking about chocolate ganache. Cold Stone's Valentine's Day ice cream cake. Call or order online or in person at Cold Stone Creamery, made fresh daily.
The Ray Gibson Show. Morning talk that matters. Call now, 888-TALK. That's 888-8255.
$6:15 in the morning. No, we cannot control our enthusiasm. It's Friday. Come on, spank it. I'm telling you, we got to get moving here. into the weekend we go. Welcome to the program. Excuse the mess. It is the Ray Gibson Show on 93.3. The Point. One note on Cold Stone. Just got a note from the guys, and you know they're cranking on the machine that makes the actual ice cream. And he says we're going to be open on Valentine's Day because it's not a holiday, as it turns out.
It's not.
What? Hello?
Wait, Super Bowl and
it's not a holiday. You'd think that I know some people that are making it a holiday. I know some people that have put in the paperwork, so Monday is either half day or I'm taking administrative leave on Super Bowl Monday. Well, good for you, no matter what is going to be happening. As I was saying, welcome to the program. Excuse the mess. It is the Ray Gibson Show on 93.3 The Point. My name is Ray. Thrilled. Oh, is there no YouTube on this morning? Oh, wait. Is that it? I'm wondering if that's something I might be able to fix kind of on the fly. Oh, yeah. Wait. Oh, let me see if I can. Oh, I hate it when this kind of thing happens. I'm telling it to go live. It might be one of those things where I was just so excited about getting into getting into the program here this morning. I might not have the capability to get to it. Connecting streaming software to go live. I thought I already did that. I might not be able to get the YouTube side on that. James Howard is just going to have to find something else to do here. It will be available as a video on demand. A little bit later on, I'll take whatever we record from here and then put it up on the YouTube site so you can check in from there. In the meantime, Facebook Live seems to be working just A-OK. Where are we? 6:17. I need to get the program started. Like I said, Cold Stone Creamery are going to be open on Valentine's Day. It's Valentine's Bowl weekend. More on that as we get into the actual program. So much to talk about. So much to do here this morning as we make our way into the last day of the weekend, into the weekend. Items in the table of contents. Pay raises at the utilities. I don't think so. Didn't look like that. A whole bunch of people, and I think there was the sensitivities from among people over at the Consolidated Commission on Utilities that, hey, you know what? Price of electricity seems to be going up. Price of everything seems to be going up. So we got to be sensitive about hitting the ratepayers with salary increases on this side. Might go over like a fart in church. Do you know what I mean? So I think maybe they made some correct moves and adjustments on that one. Certainly preventing frowny faces from well, at least most of us are not going to have frowny faces. Maybe JB and Miguel might have issues and have a little bit of a frowny notion on a Friday morning. At any rate, we've got that. And there's an interesting video that started surfacing yesterday. Apparently, they had one of those things where Janela was on with Ann Pabutsky.
Oh, and, I saw it.
Yeah. And there was somebody was asking about the pandemic of the unvaccinated. They say, well, yeah. Why the administration go out and say the pandemic of the unvaccinated? And Janela said, no, nobody ever said anything about the pandemic of the unvaccinated. We never.
No, really?
Get out of here. But as it turns out, we got the. Can you put the video thing up?
Oh, of course I
thank
can.
you. Thank you very much. There might be video evidence of other. I'm just saying.
Stated that this is the pandemic of the unvaccinated.
I also want to add, Heidi, that I don't think public health has ever stated that.
A pandemic of the unvaccinated.
I don't think those words were ever uttered by anybody at public health.
A pandemic of the unvaccinated.
The directors never said that. I've never said that. None of our deputy ICs never said that.
A pandemic of the unvaccinated.
Our CPHO at the time has never ever said those words. Nobody at public health has ever used those words, that line.
We are battling a pandemic of the unvaccinated. A pandemic of the unvaccinated. In order to fully participate in society, you must do your part and get vaccinated.
And there you go. I love that. Now,
well, to her credit.
Yes, to her credit.
Of course. Yeah.
She said no one
Nobody
at public health
ever said that. But the boss of the governor is the boss of public health. And there were people from public health that were flanking her in that particular pandemic of the unvaccinated meeting. Nobody said, oh, wait.
Don't say that.
That's not. Don't say it. Go back to the original. The original. You're not a victim. You're the vermin. I mean, vector. You're the vector, not the whichever it was. At any rate, that's one of those things. Guaranteed from wherever you are to put a smile on your face is the pandemic of too much government. That's the problem. 20 after 6 o'clock in the morning, and we got to take care of all of these vaccinated and unvaccinated heroes here.
Sometimes you want to go where everybody knows your name, and they're always glad you came. You want to be where you can see our troubles are all the same. You want to be where everybody knows your name. You want to go where people know people are all the same. You want to go where everybody knows your name.
Well, technically, Chanel is right. Yeah, that's thanks, Nate Orton. Appreciate you jumping in. I knew you'd run to her defense as well. 6:21 in the morning. Lots and lots of folks here that we want to start off with. I've got both machines open right now. I've got the Facebook on in the app, and I've got the Facebook on screen, and I got a whole different set of people that are on. Like Kenneally online on the laptop. Catalina Pinal Laritos is number one. Online though on the app, Rico Blancaflor is in the Colin Clark online. I see Kenny Williams is hanging out already. Dennis Benzer, all right. It's a kind of purple prosy thing about today being the first day of the rest of your life, or Friday, or something. I'm not really sure.
Way to go, DB.
I got you. I know what you're trying to say, and I hope at some point this weekend I might put your meat in my mouth. Carl Meyer, he's a cook. Get your head out of it. What's the matter with you people on a Friday here? Now, Rico Blackafleur, everybody need my point fix in the morning. Absolutely happy to be here for you. Carl with a K. Meyer, D2 Sabayan. LOL, having bacon grease. Dito sa bayan. Beyond. Dito sa bayan. Having bacon grease sauteed garlic fried rice. So silog. I got you. Kenneth Polino's online. Let me see. Dennis says your reaction to the drawing of eyes did make me smile. Though that story on the Fox News about a security guard that's supposed to be watching after one of these paintings that didn't have a face on it, so the security guard took a Sharpie and drew eyes on it. I'm sorry. That's a fun story. Who else playing around? Jerome McDonald saying happy Friday, Guam. Good morning. Ray Mona, Real Joe, and Jerry Roberts. Ken Brown is saying good morning to everybody listening today. Pat Bam is online. Gemma Bustamante, everybody watching and listening to the show, good morning from her. Tina Garcia, I got Naomi Taitano, Anthony Perez, John Ray Taitano, Joanne Fullerton watching the program. Jay Rojas.
Oh, mahalo.
Is hanging out there on the lines. I got Joe Lynn Mansfield. He may not even be in Hawaii at this time. I've been seeing pictures that he's been posting of just it's frozen ground wherever he is.
Ice, everywhere.
Winter is here. Jay Rojas. Rico Blankenfleur says, go Bengals, eat those Rams. Brad Wood online. I see Gina Kono. Simon Sanchez from the Consolidated Commission on Utilities. Hey, don't get too far away from the phone here, because we're going to be reaching out to you to talk about the CCU and the salary meetings and all of that. Joanne Taitano, Buenos Aires. Matt Galendez is online. I see Sabine Chargaloff. Lena McDaniel is online. Ray Dakanayawa is there saying Hafaday and Mabu Hai. Fantastic Friday to all. Ray, R-E-Y, Mabuhay. Are you in the Philippines at this time?
Makati awaits you.
Are you? Yes. Is there? I don't know. There's a couple of other guys that I know that were on the 8 o'clock last night to Manila. And I've got pictures of them at the airport, but I haven't seen any of the pictures of them, arriving in the Philippines.
No, there'll be no pictures.
No, I'm sorry. That's right. Please, you're at the airport now. Put your phone and your cameras away at this time. We appreciate this, but we don't want any secrets getting out just now. So, like I said, I know he was at the airport. He got on the airplane, and I'm assuming made it to Manila, but nothing yet from there. So, I'd like to know, what the situation was on the ground at the airport, and then what things were like, as you made your way into the city. Has traffic gotten anybody? You think it would, pandemic wise. MP Ogo is online. I see Colin Clark, like I said. Rudy Rodolfo saying good morning to all of us here this morning. That's nice. Tony Uggan, Judy Shockley, Joey Kichitu. There's MJ Rages, Hoffa to Carlene Harker, and Priscilla Villagomez watching the program. There's the mom of the program, Pam Duval, Sarita Garin, and Sarita, you posted something yesterday about I don't know, it's the singles get together on Valentine's. I saw it, but I didn't see.
She's the president.
Was there? Yeah, but was there a time and a place? I mean, are we doing this at Players again? Where are we going for Valentine's? Players. What kind of message you suppose that sends? Vicente Borja is online here this morning. That's Senator Vince. I got Millie Lujan. Millie Lujan Faison from the Free Zone in Arizona.
Aloha.
I just show me state, right? Okay, yeah. But it's good to have you online, and thanks for checking in. You look fantastic in your new state. Pete Guerrero, good morning. Hey, Millie, when you go to the grocery store, there's milk there, right? You got milk? Is it? I'm just curious now, Mill. Is it $14.50 a gallon? Or was it $13.50 a gallon? Is that what we got here?
Yeah,
$13.50.
Same
right.
smell.
What's the price of gasoline in Arizona? Have you gotten your first power bill in Arizona? Inquiring minds want to know. Says happy birthday Guam time to our only bro Paul Munoz. Right on. Dave Duenas is there. Dave picked up his packet over at the Guam Election Commission over in the last few days, and it might be worth noting, and I think I have this. I think he sent it to me. He's got his senatorial campaign logo out there. There's no donkey and no elephant.
Oh.
You know what the symbol is?
No.
Marijuana leaf.
Oh, okay. He's got my vote then, man. I'm voting for you,
Don't even
man.
care what the rest of the platform looks like. Lonnie Salas says, good morning, everybody. Happy Friday. Cope North Fly. Those babies loud and hard. Music to my ears. It's freedom. My 2 children, military. Number 2, NASA. We're told you're overqualified for a government of Guam position. Happy weekend. God bless. Go Rams. Sarita Garin says, Ganache, Ganache, my gosh, Ganache. John Ray Taitano is online here. Judy Shockley saying, hi, Dave. Let me see. Temperature in California, in Orange County, like Guam, hot, sunny, and windy. Love the weather, says Jerome McDonald's. Lady D from Gigo's online. Happy birthday, Paul from Mark Cruz. Judy Shockley, like I said, is online. Here's your Valentine's Day flowers and candy. Now get me a cold beer and let's cuddle on the couch and watch football because I love you. Sarita says, oh boy, no YouTube. Real Joe will hear a handful from Howard this morning. And Nate Horn, Sandra Regis, Sarah Lake online. Post Canteen saying, good morning, all. Sorry I'm late. No problem. Just make sure that we got the reminders in there about all the things going on at VFW over the weekend. You got the Queen of Hearts drawing tonight, 7 o'clock, almost $1,000 pot for that gig tonight. And I know that you guys are doing something special on Super Valentine's Bowl Day.
Oh, yeah.
So let me know about that. Put that up on the deal. She said it on the Ray Gibson Show, according to Johnny Utah. Lou Mendiola's online. Dona Mila Martinez. Nobody at Public Health said it, but Public Health has been enforcing BS against the unvaccinated at this time. Governor LG says Jose is the sole authority during this declared executive health emergency. Every department under her reflects the governor. She said it. They all said it.
Oh, wow.
One governor drinks, all governors drink. Rochelle Merrill is online. Juan Mufna saying fully vaccinated, but took down with COVID. Yeah, remember, if you get your vaccine, you don't have to worry about COVID-19. You don't have to wear a mask. Oh, wait. They changed that. You do have to worry about COVID. You still have to wear a mask. I saw somebody yesterday and must have just gotten their booster because they had the Band-Aid in the boostery looking shot area. And double masks. I'm going, you got to be kidding. You just drank the whole thing, didn't you? You didn't sip from the Kool-Aid. You quaffed it. It was great. Dale Audette is there. Joe Rojas says, no, oh no, I'm here. You know, this is the internet. Here could be anywhere. Good morning, Lou Mendiola. Sandra Regis says, I'm here, B-Man. Dennis Larson is online. Anna Marie. My God, what is this crazy, huge crowd that we've got here? Millie Lujan says, no mask, lots of milk. Hell's no, it's $1 sum for what milk, where Millie Fison is right now.
What? $1 sum?
$1 sum.
That's because they have cows there.
Is there a lot of single moms there, Millie?
Cows here.
Johnny at Tulai. Happy belated birthday, Uncle
Happy
Johnny.
birthday.
So glad to see your name there. Brandon John Diego, 2 words for Lou and Circus Bunk. Jimmy Bajeo online. Brandon John Diego. Harvey Egna is there. Dan Rosal. Senator Jesse Lujan. Jane out to Prudential Menno. And Damon Kaufman, who says screw mask. Damon, I'm totally and completely with you on that one. I've got the mask. I've got the little library of masks that I've assembled. None of which, I will say this right now, none of which I've bought. I've only bought one mask in the entire history of the pandemic, and that was because I had to actually go inside the gas station to pay. I wasn't the pay at the pump thing didn't work.
Yeah.
So I had to go inside, and the lady stopped me at the outside. This is the beginning of the pandemic. She says, you can't come inside without a mask. I said, I don't want to go inside, but your gizmo is broken. And she says, I can sell you a mask. And I said, okay, well, how much is that? How much is that one over there? What do you got here? And she says, and this one here is $2, and that one there is $4.
Oh God!
No, give me the 50-cent mask here. I don't want to pay anymore. And I think we negotiated up to 75 cents for a mask. Yeah, that's it. And and so it's there. And I've got the one we got from the Rotary Sushi, which is just like wearing Levi's on your face.
But it's so soft.
It's soft and it feels so good.
That's my favorite mask.
Where's the other ones?
The other one that you found outside and washed it.
Yeah, I've got a bunch of those that I've found.
And then Jay Rojas sent you some goofy ones.
Right, and Joey Kitsu gave me one when I saw him over at the church place, and that's basically it. And I those have been my go-tos the entire pandemic time, and yeah, they now smell like old ladies' feet.
Oh,
so I'm just thinking now's a good time to
How do you know what old ladies' feet smell like?
Did you forget that your brother's 59 years old? By definition, anybody I'm hanging out with is an old lady these days. It's 6:31 in the morning. All right, lots and lots to get to. There's a bunch of stuff on the table of contents of local importance and things that you might have taken a local interest in. But before we get to that, because I always forget, and I want to do celebrity birthdays. I want to start off with celebrity birthdays. Ginger or Marianne on Gilligan's Island? Which one was your favorite? Which one was your little boy crush?
Oh, Marianne.
It was Marianne?
Yeah.
It's not her birthday. I think she's dead. Tina Louise Ginger from Gilligan's Island. Tina Louise is 84 years old. Wait, there's others that will make you feel old. Sheryl Crow turns 60 years old. Sarah Palin. Who is Sarah Palin, who's a little bit old for me.
Who looks like Sheryl Crow.
Oh, yeah.
I like Sarah Palin. I've been...
Alaska, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. 58 years old. She hunts.
Wow.
She hunts. She has moves from helicopters, bro. That's badass. I'm just saying.
She's a cougar.
Jennifer, she's the cougar.
Hunts.
She's the cougar, bro. Jennifer Aniston is 53 years old.
Oh, nice.
Brandy is 43. Wow. Kelly Rowland from Destiny's Child turns 41. Other celebrities got birthdays all weekend long. And this guy was a celebrity for about 20 minutes in the movie, and I think he's in the sequel to the movie, Coming to America. Arsenio is 66 years old.
That was rude, Ray.
I'm sorry. I don't know why they don't list in his credits Goonies. They say No Country for Old Men, Deadpool 2, and Marvel films. Josh Brolin is celebrating a birthday. He's 54 years old. But wasn't he the older brother in?
He was
in Goonies.
He's the one on the little bicycle that crashed. He kicked off the cliff there.
Love that. Still love that movie.
Yeah.
All right. Now I guarantee that Dennis Benzer had a boy crush on Christina Ricci.
Oh.
The Addams Family.
Yeah.
What's the magic word?
Wednesday?
Yeah. What's the magic word? Now. Is the magic word. Remember when somebody's trying to sell her Girl Scouts? Are these made from real Girl Scouts? Girl Scout cookies available right now. Speed Racer she's 42 years old. Stockard Channing from Grease is 78. Jerry Springer is 78. And celebrity offspring Prince Jackson is 25 years old.
You are not the father.
6:34. What kind of day we got ahead of us? I think it's a Friday that we've got ahead of us. Let's get caught up on headlines and news now with Montesilva Tire and Huff. Mana, what happened?
Well, homeowners who were affected by the COVID pandemic are encouraged to apply for help under the Homeowners Assistance Fund, but know that today's the last day to apply. Applications must be received by close of business. Meanwhile, the JIC report has another 2 COVID-related fatalities that were recorded, the 304th, 305th. One was a 48-year-old man, and the other was a 61-year-old man. Both had underlying health conditions. Meanwhile, there were 622 new cases of COVID-19 reported in the latest round of testing. The governor did also announce that there's going to be an outreach initiative that's launched based on the number of recent dead on arrivals brought to the hospital. Operation Homebound will help reach underserved individuals who may need assistance with access to services to include testing and vaccination, as well as some support from WIC, SNAP, Medicaid, and MIP, as well as Medicare. And those are your headlines right here on The Point.
That it?
Yep.
Those are it? All right, got you. 6:35 in the morning. We'll take a look at what's going on in traffic and a few, some of the other staples of your morning show diet. They're all ahead right here, coming back after these.
Half a day. This is Claire Manglona from Security Title with an important warning. Wire fraud is real, and home buyers and sellers are one of the biggest targets, even on Guam. When sending money by wire transfer, be sure to confirm the wire instructions by phone, not email. In this case, it's good to be suspicious and know who you're dealing with. Let the professionals at Security Title work with you to minimize loss due to wire fraud. We are here to help.
Love is perfect timing. And now is the time to make a move on the apple of your eye. A new iPhone 13 and Apple Watch make the perfect pair. And you can get yours now during GTA's Valentine's Day special. For a limited time, buy an iPhone 13 on HPO and get an Apple Watch 7 for free. While supplies last, terms and conditions apply. To find out more, visit gta.net or call us at 671-644-4482. Roses are red, violets are blue. At GTA, we start with you.
All right, important information now for husbands and boyfriends everywhere. Call Tove's Flower Shop this morning. They will open at 8. You need to be either there at 8 o'clock in the morning or on the phone with somebody at 8 o'clock in the morning to get your preparations and your reservations and your payments done for roses, bears, chocolates, and balloons available on Valentine's. They are obviously going to be open. The number's 671. Again, there's guys desperate enough. We're writing it down now in the dust on the dashboard. All right, 671. I don't need that part. I know it's 646-4132 is the number to Mama Tove's place, and they will be open Sunday.
Attention Guam Power Authority commercial accounts. GPA proudly announces that our Energy Sense rebate program has just gotten bigger and better to include customers on rate schedule G and J. With GPA's Energy Sense program, commercial accounts can receive up to $350 per ton in rebates with the purchase of a qualified unit through any of our approved vendors. The GPA Energy Sense rebate program helps lower energy costs, improves efficiency, and saves you money. Visit us at guampowerauthority.com/energysense. Effective dates for units may vary.
I've got the traffic gizmo in my sights on screen right now. Looks like everything is calmed down up at Anderson Air Force Base. Did you see some of the guys there that were out there yesterday that flew the planes? And apparently they got back into Tumon because there was some like a general's charcuterie thing, just like a pop-up charcuterie contest that was going on yesterday down in Tumon. Great job, guys. A little bit of traffic southbound Marine Corps Drive into the downtown Datadoo area, but nothing major through there. Intersection traffic so far these days. There's some of the major intersections, but I don't think I see anything that's going to be slowing you down just yet. All right, let me get to Central Guam and see what's happening here. 8, 10, and 16 running clear. 10 and 15, expect some delays getting closer to it from the Route 16 side. I'm not sure why, but it looks like southbound Route 15 is running a little bit slower than normal. No major traffic issues getting into downtown Agutnia area. Route 8 running fairly clear there. You will see a little bit of traffic over at the intersections there, but nothing major, and nobody writing me saying there's an accident. And Naval Base, Big Navy Guam, looking pretty good here this morning. At 6:38, there is your right now traffic. This is The Point.
What's a better way to celebrate Valentine's Day than celebrating it at Mezcla with their 3-course meal? Starting off your meal with a salad appetizer, followed by a main entree of your choice, and of course, to top it all off, to make Valentine's as sweet as the day itself, a melting lava cake with vanilla ice cream and caramel sauce. So what are you waiting for? Call them at 671-649-2652 or visit mezclaguam.com for reservations. See you there.
Knowledge is power. In just 60 seconds, the Evil 360 provides you a unique experience and a detailed report of your body composition for you to take action to improve your health. The Evil 360, turning information into inspiration to live a balanced lifestyle. Evil 360 is exclusively at the Take Care Wellness Center. Go to Simply Book Me or call 671-646-6956 extension 7260 for more information and to schedule an appointment with a member of the Take Care Wellness team.
Abe? Which one? I was supposed to
sell a
you know
car.
what I was looking at something. I was looking at where wages have been going in the country, but where the consumer prices are going in the country. It's we're upside down. We're kind of upside down here. I was looking at that. Anyway, 6:39 in the morning. You need to stretch that dollar further. Best way to do that, go buy yourself a new car. And you go, what? Wait a minute, what? Go to Nissan and buy a new car today. They've got 2021s on the lot, and they got to make some room to bring in some 2022s, like the new Frontiers. Everybody wants one, but if there's no room on the lot, what are we going to do, right? So they've got a couple of great deals in there. First of all, you go in there with decent credit, and then we don't have to worry about a down payment. I have no idea how they do that magic, but they've figured it out at Nissan, and you are the beneficiary of their hard work. Now, we've got a couple of different plans that you can get once you've decided which of the 2021s you want. We can either give you 0% APR for the life of the loan, so never mind prepaying. You don't need to. There's no interest hit on this thing. Or we can make it so that Nissan pays for the first 3 payments for you. Lots of ways to put that deal together. Go find out how they're going to do it for you at NissanGuam.com.
It's the Ray Gibson Show. Call now, 888-TALK. That's 888-8255.
the problem is it's a 4-hour show, right? I mean, it's not necessarily a problem as much as it is, every once in a while, actually pretty much every day, I'll get to be like 9:59, 59, realizing there's still so much stuff that I haven't gotten to in the program and so many things hanging out. And I got a feeling today's going to be one of those days. I'll give you a lineup on the program a little bit later on. But yeah, while I was looking and listening to some other things here, this passed my eyes, and it's somebody trying to do one of these good news, bad news things. So here's the good news. Unless you're Miguel Bradallo or John Benevitti, there's a pretty good chance you've got your income may have changed for the positive in the last year or so, and that ought to be good news. Thank you very much. I mean, you got a little extra money coming in from the federal government, and maybe your boss is doing a little bit better. You're busy. Maybe you're one of those guys at Home Depot that has not suffered at all during the COVID-19 times, but they're okay. I'm not giving them a hard time because there's no mask police over at Home Depot. Have you done that yet? Have you made the loop?
No, I haven't.
You haven't.
Man.
You haven't yet.
No.
Don't you need anything? A bucket of paint?
I could walk around there and not need anything.
I know what you mean, but I had to do that. I didn't really need anything over at Home Depot, but I went there because I wanted to test out what everybody had been saying, and sure enough, you walk in with no mask. And in 2022, and after 2 years of mask BS, you've got that feeling like, is my zipper down?
Yeah.
There's something missing in this conversation.
Underwear outside the pants.
Yeah, underwear outside. But after a couple of minutes, you get to go, hey, man, there's 4 people with the orange things, the orange aprons. They haven't said a word to me. I must be in a safe place. I must be among my people at the time. And so anyway, maybe your business did well and you got a raise. The good news is that high inflation has come alongside a robust jobs recovery, as data has confirmed last week, but wages aren't keeping up. Average hourly wages rose 5.7%. And any other time in the history of the world, that would be pretty good. But when you consider that consumer prices rose, and this is the big story today in a land of the economics. The Department of Labor finally came out with the new numbers, and it looks like this: consumer prices rose by 7.5%. So any increase in wages you got has just been steamrollered by the avalanche of higher prices on commodities that you used to be able to just take for granted. Like I said, you go into some places earlier in the week. We called Mike Benito from Payless, and he was explaining that there had been some port calls that have been missed. Flying in stuff, it just hasn't happened in like the last month. So the fact that they've got dairy products that are still reasonably fresh on the shelves is kind of amazing. Then there's this story. I don't know where to make of it. I think I need to read a little bit more of the report. This is just one of the headlines that starts: while President Trump was in office, staff in the White House residence periodically discovered wads of printed paper clogging a toilet and believed that the president had flushed pieces of paper down because he didn't want them to be part of any kind of presidential archive or anything like that. So that's what he would do, is just go ahead and put them in the presidential potty and not have to get rid of it. Now this comes out in light of a new report that he's got this book of love letters between him and North Korean leader Kim Jong-un, et cetera, and people casting aspersions saying you shouldn't have ought to done that. 888-8255, 888-TALK is the telephone number around here. More from the Facebook Live and some of the commentary that we've got here. There's Rocho, Jose, Dale Audette, Lou Mendiola. Where did I leave off? Millie Luana Fison's. Oh God, her report from the Free Zone. It says no mask, plenty of milk, gasoline, not gasoline, but milk is selling for $1 some there. Power was $80 some on the power bill.
Wow.
Because I don't think, Arizona sounds like desert, but my guess is it's probably pretty cool, and in parts of the days, right? So you don't need to run the air conditioner 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Maybe, the temperature drops below in, the high 60s, low 70s at night. So all you got to do is like open the windows and have a fan in the room. And that's it, right?
That sounds like heaven over there.
It does sound like heaven. Johnny Atulai is there. Dennis Larson. Let me see. Brandon John. Oh, wait. I already went through some of those names. All right, Post Canteen says Queen of Hearts drawing tonight, $980 is what you're going to be paying. Sarita asking, if we have Hearts Day, can we have a Brain Day so everybody can start using their brains at least once a year, asking from a friend. Sandra Rager says, LOL, you're a mess, RJC. Hey, we work with the guy. You're absolutely right. Bill Wyndham is there. Lou Mendiola. Colin Clark's fetish was ginger. Once upon a time, Jerome says it sounds like Ray has a foot fetish. Nick Perlowski, leave the mask, take the cannoli. Damon Cup, Tagley is a pimp. We should do that one of these days. Write it down, Real Joe. We'll do it on like a Friday, Godfather quote Friday.
Yeah, forget
just
about
all morning long. We just throw out Godfather quotes. Dennis Benzer is already going to win. Who else is there? Prudencio Meno says, "Go Truckers! It's okay to honk." How about Vivian Castro Leon? Dennis Benzer admitting guilty to having a crush on that chick from. The Adams family. Sep Sound, Prudencio Meno, Oliver Malakas is saying good morning to everybody. Jeanette Suzuki, off of Mark Anthony, Pete Rivera. I'm looking at Cousin Troy is online here this morning. Awesome to have you there. You need to call in at some point and tell us what you were talking about, because it made it sound like somebody was making some money off of some land, and that's always interesting. Greg Bass Knight is there. Bonnie Suba, teacher Ronnie Dionaldo, hello pretty. Leslie St. Nicholas is there. CT Guam, Oliver Malakas, Margaret Estacchio, and Trina San Augustine finally checking in saying, yeah, it's Friday. If I sound at 6:47, I sound a little off balance here this morning. I'm trying to. I don't know what to do about today's Wordle. I'm having a hard time with it.
Poor man.
Okay, no.
You're not the only one out there.
I'm on my fourth guess.
This cult is out of hand, right?
And I'm nowhere where I need to be. I've got 3 letters that I know are a part of the word, but I don't have them in the right order. And obviously, if I've got 4 letters that are correct, and I'm missing one. I don't know whether it's another consonant or a vowel. I don't know whether I should even mention it on the radio, because this might mess people up. But I am down to 2 guesses left. I don't know what the last letter is going to be, and I don't know what order the word is going to be in. And every word that I've thrown in there that I think is supposed to be right, like truce and curve, are not correct yet. And so I don't know what to do. If I keep guessing and get it wrong, obviously I will lose at Wordle. But I got 4 guesses in. I haven't done the other 2. What's the etiquette here? If I lay down my king, right? Is that, it nolo contendere? Huh? No contest. Can we nolo contendere in Wordle? Inquiring minds want to know. And don't tell me what the answer is. Don't tell me what the answer is, because that would be cheating. And, cheaters never win and winners never cheat, or something like that. 10 away from the top of the hour. Help me out with it, would you? Just on the etiquette side. I might take another guest and try to, do it in 5 or 6. But I just am concerned that I'm going to get it wrong. 888-8255-888-TALK. Now, 6:49 in the morning. I don't quite know what to. Now, the governor made a speech about 3.5 minutes. I know you get that look like, Ray's going to play
the one from last night?
Yeah, the one from last night.
Yeah, I caught it. I played it loud on my radio.
Did you? How about that?
Yeah.
How about that? Were there any parts in there that you said, oh, no, she's done it again?
No, I was waiting. For the good parts.
No, there
was
was
get
no
to
good
the
part.
good part. Get to the good part, Governor. And nothing.
Can we get to the good part? Yeah, I watched too many Instagram reels.
There was no. Then when it ended, I was like, what? That's it? What?
So no, but here's the part that we should all be concerned about. The phrase, and you can read it in the Guam Daily Post. I'll save you some trouble here. We are beating COVID-19. Uh-oh. You remember the day that she said we beat dengue?
No wire hangers.
No wire hangers. Let's go. We are beating COVID-19 and building a better future for us all.
I'm so sorry.
Okay, so people that listen to this program regularly and hear conversations from guys like Dr. Macris and some of the other non-Kool-Aid drinkers, you go, wait a second, we are beating COVID-19. How do we beat COVID-19? How did we exactly? How did we do that? Was it the checkpoints from a couple of years ago? Was it that? Is it the mask mandates of little kids in school? Is it the vaccinate or test weekly mandate? Is that how we beat COVID-19? The shaming of the unvaccinated, the pandemic of the unvaccinated. That's how we've beat COVID-19. We didn't do jack. There's nothing that we have done here. There's 2 weeks to slow the curve, to flatten the curve. That didn't do anything. All of the other mitigations afterward haven't done anything. We still had fatalities. You still got a bunch of people at the hospital. They say it's not overwhelmed right now. Right now, it's not overwhelmed, but we are watching those numbers carefully. We're watching those numbers like a hawk because the last thing that we need to do is overwhelm the hospital. No, the last thing we ought to do is, I don't know, go out there and rent some more nurses and doctors. I know we have plenty of beds and ventilators and all of the other nonsense that we give to people when they go in there because we've scared them to death. That, if you've got a hard time breathing, don't wait. Go to the hospital right now. Otherwise, you're going to be one of the dead on arrival people that they're now apparently mounting numbers of all of those things. So I'm just trying to figure out when they say we're beating COVID-19, what exactly that we've got here, and show me the science. This is the thing here. Accountability needs to be in much higher demand around here. So when somebody throws that line out there, we are beating COVID-19. You know how we're going to beat COVID-19? You just let it happen. Just let it happen. COVID-19, it's here. It's endemic. As every single doctor that I've talked to, some on the air, but many won't go on the air with this because, everybody's got a connection one way or the other, or the fear of reprisals. But there's virtually every doctor I've talked to says, no, it goes like this. This thing is going to spread, as fast as possible, and is going to give people as much as possible some kind of herd immunity. Now, how long is that going to last? Well, there's a big question mark on that. But for the most part, the virus doesn't want to kill its host. So there we are. Let it happen. All of the other things, in my mind, might have been just delaying us from getting to where we are now. If we'd have relaxed some of the restrictions a while ago, Omicron would have spread even faster in the beginning. So there's a little bit of a logic hit that you get on that. Robert Leon Guerrero and other health officials continue to urge people to get tested and to seek help when they feel ill, especially if they're elderly and have diabetes, hypertension, or other comorbidities. That should have been the headline 2 years ago. We're seeing an increase in hospitalizations. There's an increase in the intensive care unit patients. It's getting close to concerning. But the hospitals haven't reported that this is overwhelming them yet, according to Ann Pabutsky, territorial epidemiologist for the Guam Public Health folks. So there it is, the governor taking claim that we are beating COVID-19. Like I said, I just want to know how we beat them, and if you're going to take claim for the victory, could you give us a little science? Can you, maybe like a Excel spreadsheet, on what our victory over COVID days were? When was that? When did we implement this policy that annoyed Ray Gibson, and what was the net effect on survivability and mortality here on Guam? If you're going to take credit, we're going to need to see this. I mean, this is like the football game. You can't just walk in and say, okay, we won. You have to play. You have to show the touchdowns, and we got to be able to mark the approach up and down the field to the field goals. You can't just say, like Kamala Harris said, we did it, Joe. We did it, Joe. So that's in my head today. There's a few other things that are floating around in the newspaper. The story on the Consolidated Commission on Utility approving pay increases for GPA's CFO, and then there's a conversation there about Simon Sanchez being the lone nay vote on this, and I appreciate it because it indicates that they are sensitive to what's happening around here with people and in our lives. Cost of gasoline going up. Cost of virtually everything going up. And, while everybody in the GWA is doing an outstanding job, we can't just be handing out raises at a time where people are doing their best to fight inflation and turning off every other light in the house in order to help make ends meet on the power bill. 6:55 in the morning, we'll spend some time talking about that and a few other people that are making Guam kind of an interesting place today. If we get a chance, Real Joe, how I like to take a look at the jobs? Because one of these days somebody's going to find out I really don't have any aptitude or skill or talent for this job, and I might need to have something else that I can go to. Oh yeah, yeah, and they'll say, we'd be happy to consider your application, Ray. But on Friday before Super Bowl, what was the Wordle? I'm shaking now just while I'm talking about it. I don't know. Hey, did the governor check in yet? Former governor. Is he online on it?
No.
Yes, he is. Okay, I haven't seen it yet. All right.
I saw a thumbs up and a sunshine.
How about that? Okay, that's how we know it's the guy. All right, so if you're looking for a job here, there's one that I'm kind of interested in. It is a housekeeper nanny position. Now it's 2022, right? I mean, back in the old days, you'd say housekeeper nanny. You know, that's a woman's job.
Yeah.
That's you know, there are no nanny guys now, are there? I don't know. There may be. And housekeeper. It's like Uncle Charlie on My Three Sons.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Always felt it's kind of interesting, guy housekeeper. But, you know, it's 2022. Maybe that's changed. And I'm loving this.
Isn't that called a butler?
Yeah. But he was like the Alice.
I want a butler.
He was like the Alice on My Three Sons. But at any rate, Builder's Choice is the ones that's looking for. There's got to be a story behind this, and I'm curious as to what it is. Builder's Choice. This is where you apply. You can email a resume, and if you look in the Guam Daily Post, you'll see it. It includes, for being a housekeeper and nanny, full benefits, including medical and dental insurance, a 401k, paid leave, etc.
Oh, wow.
Right? And paid leave for the nanny and a housekeeper?
You got to take the kids with you, though. You can take leave, but you got to bring the kids.
I don't know.
Does my police clearance have to be clean, though?
I don't. You know,
assault charges and all?
You'll be in competition with some other folks here that have been in, you know,
Must love kids.
Mike Berdalio's courtroom. There might be some of those that you're in competition with, but I think you'll be okay. Yeah, it didn't say anything about being vaccinated or whether you got to pee clean or any of that stuff. So call Builder's Choice and find out about this nanny and housekeeper business. Now, many of us are inspired by what's been taking place in Ottawa, up in Canada, and maybe you've decided, you know what, I got to take my freedom loving and put it on the road. We got us here, convoy. I don't know if anything like that is going to work, although I do know, and maybe about 7 o'clock, 7:45 or so, we'll hear from somebody that's part of the organization that is going to be doing a drive-around protest. They're going to like a motorcade protest over the weekend. So I'll get you details on that. But Rocky Mountain Precast had an opening for a truck driver. They got opening for truck drivers. You can honk the horn.
Belt buckle's big, so's my truck.
Get rid of Trudeau. Trudeau. I don't like him anymore. 6:58 and change. All right. A bunch of stuff on the table of contents. Obviously, a Super Bowl Friday. And to the degree that I haven't paid any attention at all, we know that it's the Bengals and the Rams that are playing, right?
Yeah, I believe so. They're going all the way, man.
Bengals and Rams, right?
You are
okay.
correct.
All right, groovy. So we got that going for us. Is it Fiesta? Are we Fiesta this weekend? Wasn't it usually it's like Mon Fiestas this time of year, right?
Do we
People
do
still do
fiestas
that?
anymore?
I don't. You know. That's a good question.
Ray, with the price of chicken wings,
so.
man.
That's because of the pandemic of the.
Yeah, I don't think.
Well, maybe we need to get back to doing
Unless,
that. Oh man, I've not even thought about fiestas.
Maybe administration people do fiestas, because they have different rules.
They got money. They got money for the people in the administration. Got the dough to be able to support it. But imagine now, and maybe this will take us into the conversation a little bit further. But maybe we need to explore the idea if they have been suspending activities like village fiestas. We got Lent coming up, so that's going to happen anyway. But if they've been suspending them, maybe we need to allow people to have these village fiestas once again, because that balutan might be the only thing standing between starvation and survival in these inflationary near post-pandemic times. We'll talk about that and plenty more as we make our way through. Facebook Live is working. The Me Machine online at 7978255. Sorry about the YouTube. I forgot to press a button here this morning because I was all busy trying to figure out what the wordle is, and I might be doing that while the Fox News is playing. Starting right about now, KUSG Agatinya 93.3. This is the Friday version of The Point.
Wall Street is anxious. Lisa Brady, Fox News. Stocks tumbling as inflation rises, raising concern about how aggressive the Fed might get to rein it in.
We have a better idea how much more we were paying for things last month. The Consumer Price Index rose 0.6% in January. For the year ending in January, the increase is 7.5%. Both numbers are stronger than economists were predicting. Strong consumer demand at the same time as pandemic-related supply issues have been pushing prices higher, and inflation has been rising at the highest level since the early 80s.
Fox's Jenny Cosola. Stocks rebounding a bit during the session, but the Dow down 526 points at the close. President Biden says he'll keep working on gas prices and supply chain issues.
But the fact is that
If we are able to do the things I'm talking about here, it'll bring down the cost for average families.
Visiting Virginia with proposals to lower prescription drug costs, part of his stalled Build Back Better plan. Republicans say his policies help fuel inflation. On its way to the president's desk, a bill born of the Me Too movement to change the way sexual misconduct claims are handled.
And the idea that you're going to sign away your day in court when you're abused in the workplace, those days are over.
South Carolina Republican Senator Lindsey Graham joining New York Democrat Kirsten Gillibrand to draft the bill, which ends forced arbitration so employers can no longer have contracts requiring people to settle sexual assault or harassment claims out of court. It had such bipartisan support, the Senate passed it on a voice vote. Sources tell Fox News the White House vetting process for a Supreme Court nominee is well underway, and more than a dozen names are in the mix. The president meeting today with Democrats on the Senate Judiciary Committee. He has pledged to nominate the court's first black woman and plans to name a pick by the end of this month. America is listening to Fox News.
Always here to help you. This island is our home. Through the years, we've been a friend to the neighbors we have known. Now we're banking on the future. Their services to choose. Where others put branches, we place roots.
Oh, what's for breakfast at KFC under $3.95, you ask? What's for breakfast at KFC that's different than the other guys, you ask? KFC's chicken wrap, sausage wrap, the Colonel's chicken congee, chicken fried steak, sausage biscuit and gravy, and biscuit sandwiches made with KFC's original fluffy biscuits. All for under $3.95 and all only at KFC. Plus, with waffles and the Colonel's chicken fried rice, we've got something for everyone.
So visit KFC for breakfast today. It's finger licking good.
Drop in abortions in Texas, where new limits are in place.
Texas providers report almost 2,200 abortions performed last September. That compares to more than 5,400 done the month prior, a decline of about 60%. It shows the effect of the law called by many the nation's most restrictive anti-abortion measure, banning the procedure once a fetal heartbeat is heard about 6 weeks into pregnancy. The law also allows citizens to collect $10,000 if they successfully sue someone who performs or aids in getting an abortion after 6 weeks. The U.S. Supreme Court plans to rule this term on a Mississippi challenge that could perhaps overturn Roe v. Wade. Gernal Scott, Fox News.
The drop in Texas doesn't necessarily mean all of those abortions didn't happen. There's been a backlog of appointments in neighboring states and farther away as Texas patients travel hundreds of miles to other clinics. A famous record gets an equally famous new owner.
It's like this and like that and like this and it's like Snoop Dogg is now the owner of one of the most famous rap record labels of all time, Death Row Records. The rapper and entrepreneur who rose to fame on Death Row Records in the 1990s, now acquiring the label from MNRK Music Group, which is controlled by the investment firm Blackstone. Originally founded in 1992 by Suge Knight and Dr. Dre, among others, Death Row Records became one of the most important and at times controversial record labels for rap music, with a roster that included Snoop Dogg and Tupac Shakur. Snoop will also be releasing his own album on Friday called BODR, as well as performing at this Sunday's Super Bowl halftime show.
Fox's Mike Gunzelman recapping the inflation-driven sell-off on Wall Street. The Dow down 526 points. The S&P also down more than 1%. The NASDAQ more than 2%. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News.
Hafa, this is Josh here at APL. Our expertise and extensive network can help you grow your business and reach out to more global markets. As a responsible carrier, APL is also committed to a sustainable future, whether it's protecting the environment or investing our efforts in giving back to the community. Our dedicated teams in Guam, Saipan, and on U.S. mainland are here to support you. Call 588-4651 or visit www.apl.com.
Everyone has a busy schedule these days, and sometimes we forget to schedule our routine dental checkup and cleaning. Don't neglect your dental health. Schedule one today with Dr. Robert Yang and his Smile team, conveniently located at the East West Business Center on Marine Drive, Upper Tumon. Call us today at 647-8702 or 3, Again, that's 647-8702 or 647-8703. We make smiles happen.
Subway keeps the Eat Fresh Refresh subs rolling in with the fresh take on timeless classics. Try the honey mustard rotisserie style chicken. It's the new Subway rotisserie style chicken with a flavor upgrade, mizzled with honey mustard on hearty multigrain bread and topped with fresh hand-sliced veggies. Craving some heat? The Baja Turkey Avocado hits all the hot notes. Oven roasted turkey stacked high on hearty multigrain speared with smashed avocado and drizzled with the piquant chipotle sauce. Tuck into new subs to savor at Subway. Eat fresh.
Off today at 7:06, I'm Mona Silva Tyron with a look at your local news on the point. A Guam man who was once a Department of Corrections guard is now being held at a detention center in Los Angeles after he was picked up on a federal warrant issued by a district court judge here on Guam, Mike Berdalio. The Guam Daily Post has the story. Ronald Artero Pereira appeared virtually from the Metropolitan Detention Center and admitted to having a relapse and went on a drug binge after he was released from custody last November. Defense attorney John Gorman told the court that Pereira admitted to the violations filed by the U.S. Probation Service. The violations include missing multiple drug tests, submitting a diluted urine sample, testing positive for methamphetamine, and failing to attend substance abuse treatment and traveling outside of Nevada District without permission. Pereira currently is serving 3 years of supervised release in connection with a federal drug conviction. Gorman told the court that Pereira is working on his drug abuse problem. He'll have to go before another chief judge on Guam who will determine how much time he will serve after admitting to the violations. It was said in court that Pereira faces 3 to 9 months in prison. He was arrested back in 2017 after trying to smuggle drugs into DOC. Meanwhile, another drug smuggler denied in the federal court that he used methamphetamine, and even though he tested positive for meth, Joseph Caballero is on supervised release for his arrest in 2014 for drug smuggling. U.S. Probation Services allege that the defendant has 2 new positive test results for meth use. At the recommendation from the probation and the federal prosecutor, Judge Berdalio ordered Caballero go back to prison. Meanwhile, also from the Guam Daily Post, a man who admitted to taking photos of a teen girl known to him while she was in the shower will not have to spend any additional time in the Department of Corrections. 23-year-old Justin J. Babauta pleaded guilty to invasion of privacy as a third-degree felony. Got 1 year's suspended sentence. Babauta will be placed on 3 years of supervised probation, and he will have to register as a level 2 sex offender. Well, more news right after this.
BK's new Double Whopper Jr. Your Way meal is now available. The Double Whopper Jr. is made with 2 fire-grilled burger patties, creamy mayonnaise, fresh lettuce and tomato, crunchy pickles, ketchup, and freshly cut onions on a toasted sesame seed bun. Our New Way meal includes French fries, 4-piece chicken nuggets, and a refreshing Coca-Cola. Get your hands on the new Double Whopper Jr. Your Way meal at your favorite Burger King location. Please wear your mask and practice social distancing. BK Tumon Bay, Hagåtña, Micronesia Mall, and the airport. BK Your Way.
Homeowners who were affected by the pandemic are encouraged to apply for the help under the Homeowners Assistance Fund administered by the Department of Administration. But know that today is the last day to submit your applications, so you must submit those before close of business today. The Guam Homeowners Assistance Fund program provides up to $15,000 in relief to homeowners who've experienced some sort of financial challenge or other difficulties affecting their housing stability due to the pandemic. DOA will review the submitted applications and advise applicants regarding the status. They say expect 5 to 7 days in order to hear back from your application. You can go to the Department of Administration website or to their office at the ITC building. Also from the JIC report this morning, 2 new COVID-related fatalities were reported, bringing us to 305 now COVID-related deaths. One man was a 48-year-old patient at GRMC, and another a 61-year-old man who also, both of them did have underlying health conditions. There remains 50 people in the hospital with COVID-19, 6 in intensive care. The JIC also says there were 622 new cases of COVID-19 reported out of their latest round of testing. And the governor announced that beginning today, they will begin a new outreach initiative to get more underserved individuals access to help That includes COVID testing and vaccination, as well as other assistance with regard to WIC, SNAP, Medicaid, and MIP. The outreach will include support from public health and other agency partners. Operation Homebound will start in the village of Agana and expand throughout the island. And those are your top stories here on The Point. Here's Ray with your weather.
Thinking Operation Homeboy probably would have been better. I mean, it's just one of those things, just got to be a little bit more of a sense of, I don't know, just a bunch of people walking around the villages looking for ways to help, because we are your homeboy. But that's, you know what, I'm not the digital engagement manager or anything like that over at Antelope. They haven't taken any of my ideas since the inauguration. I don't see why they'd start now. 7:11 in the morning, mostly cloudy today, daytime highs 86 degrees, winds east-northeast up to 14 miles an hour. Will there be any gusts like the kinds we saw in the last couple of days? Possible. Keep some visine around because you never know what's going to be blowing into your eyes. Partly cloudy tonight with lows around 76 degrees. Northeast winds about 11 miles an hour. Sunset's going to be at 6:25. For tomorrow, mostly sunny in the forecast. Daytime highs 86 degrees. We got gusts tomorrow as high as 26 miles an hour, so watch out for those. On Sunday, mostly cloudy, highs near 86, breezy again, northeast winds blowing 16 to 22 miles an hour. They are predicting, are you ready for this? You wrote it down, so you should be. And they are predicting on Sunday we may see gusts as high as 32 miles an hour. Really?
Break out the kites.
Not bad at all. Yeah, kiteboarding season, I suppose. But I don't know. I don't. It's one of those hobbies that I've managed to avoid out of overabundance of caution and fear that I'm going to shatter both of my collarbones. Sunset tonight, 6:25. Hashtag tell the others because it's Friday, 7:12. I'll be right back.
Love is perfect timing. And now is the time to make a move on the apple of your eye. A new iPhone 13 and Apple Watch make the perfect pair. And you can get yours now during GTA's Valentine's Day special. For a limited time, buy an iPhone 13 on HPO and get an Apple Watch 7 for free. While supplies last, terms and conditions apply. To find out more, visit gta.net or call us at 671-644-4482. Roses are red, violets are blue. At GTA, we start with you.
Attention! Lolita Kamet is now with Hoffaday Realty. She'll always be that hardworking and passionate real estate professional who is committed to helping you make a difference in your life and helping you achieve the American dream of home ownership. She also specializes in commercial leasing, land sales, local residential sales leasing, military and corporate relocation. So for all your real estate needs, call Lolita Kamet now with Hoffaday Realty at 688-6743. That's 688-6743.
I got your portions of the program brought to you by my team over at APL, American President Lines, a global presence with a local home. Also being brought to you by the guys over at KFC. Great breakfast waiting for you. Colonel's Fried Chicken, always a great way to start off your day. And is there more that you need? More inspiration to go by the nearest KFC? How about this? Twisters with red rice and chicken and Denancy. Ooh. Did he say red rice in a twister? I did. You really got to try it. They've got the KFC fried chicken sandwich there as well, and they've denancied that one. So you get the great quarter pound of delicious chicken breast, double breaded, and that fried extra crispy. You've got the denancy sauce on that, and the crispy pickles and the buns. You know what time is it? 7:14. The buns have just left the bakery for the different KFC locations here on Guam. They are that fresh, ladies and gentlemen. They don't even start putting it together until you order it. Will this be with Denancy, sir, or without? Try it with. Why don't you at KFC today?
News to fill your mind. Talk to get it out. The Ray Gibson Show. Call now, 888-8255.
7:14, Ray Gibson Show until at least 10 o'clock this morning. Get some interesting folks coming by. I'll share that with you in just a little bit. In the meantime, I wanted to put this up on the screen. We were talking about the Millie Lohana-Fison, who's living the good life out in Arizona. Yeah. Goes
Ralph's,
in the grocery stores.
Albertsons.
There's just too much stuff here in this grocery store.
Kroger's.
This is what it looked like. Harvey Agnes sent me this. This is what it looked like at Payless this morning at 7 o'clock. What do you say that looks like the vegetable section over at the place?
It is, Ray.
So,
Ding, 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 ding.
We're down to 2 squashes.
Let's do it, man.
Got 2 squashes, and it looks like the only thing that they've got a whole lot of might be some local produce that is out there these days. You want to talk about a hard time that they have been having at a variety of locations all over Guam. With we've got the supply chain issues that are impacting us. I wonder, and it might be interesting to just do one of these, take it all the way steps back. How much of this might be being brought on by some of those truckers that are involved in the protests. They ain't moving produce around that's supposed to be going to Guam. I'm wondering maybe if there's a connection one way or the other. But I'll tell you what, this has not been a good morning for consumers and investors. We'll talk about this. A lot of hopes riding on inflation easing sometime this year, but it didn't happen in January. The 0.6 rise in the consumer price index last month undermines the idea, which the Biden administration and Federal Reserve have been betting on, that inflation will remain contained to a handful of industries and fade over time. But consumer prices have risen 7.5% over the last year, the highest since February of 1992. Now, I may, and just out of an abundance of curiosity, go back and take a look at February of 1982. I remember it being kind of an adventurous year for a lot of different reasons. But thinking about where the prices are going these days and how that's going to be impacting everybody, the persistence of high inflation raises the risk of a self-reinforcing cycle that might take more aggressive action to unwind, which could slow the economy. The big picture, it says, inflation coming in hot yet again will make the Federal Reserve more inclined to raise interest rates more aggressively than planned and take other steps to try to rein in prices before they spiral further. So what's that mean? Is it going to be harder for folks to be able to get their hands on some easy money? It's true that some of the steepest price rises in January were in the volatile energy space. 9.5% rise in the price of fuel oil, 4.2% in electricity costs. But the phenomenon of prices rising at uncomfortably fast paces was broad-based. Prices rose for apparel 1%, car insurance 1%, restaurant meals 0.7%. Oh, really? There are places that are going through the second and third iteration of their menus in the last 6 months because the prices of the things that they need to buy at the grocery stores have been going up. Moreover, rents continued pushing upward, 0.5% for rental properties, 0.4% for the equivalent rent of homes that folks own. Which creates an effective floor that keeps inflation from falling. Prices for used cars and trucks, a reflection of ongoing disruptions that have hamstrung car producers, remained a large contributor to the inflation increase, up 40%. 40% in January compared to the prior year. And amazing, though, there's still people driving around in trucks that they don't know how to park. I'm just saying, if you can't park it, don't buy it or look for something smaller. I'm sorry. I'm remembering I was over in front of Moses the other night, and I was watching somebody come in with one of these big trucks, and it was I want to say they were about ready to give up on the parallel parking and just go around and find an open space somewhere. Makes it a whole lot easier. Wages are not keeping up either. Jeff from Pirates Cove on the line. Good morning, Jeff.
Good morning, Ray.
7:18 on a Friday. Happy Valentine's to you. Happy Super Bowl weekend to you.
Yep, everything's coming up fast here.
Absolutely. You got anything going on at Pirates Cove for Valentine's you want to talk about?
Yes, I would like to talk about on Valentine's Sunday, which is the day ahead of Valentine's. We're having a champagne brunch, and then we'll have Mexican omelets and eggs Benedict and barbecue and all our great Greek salad and everything. It also will have mimosa, champagne, Bud Light draft will be flowing from 10 till 1.
Okay.
So if you'd like a reservation for that, we got plenty of room, and we'd like to see you.
And you don't care whether I'm vaccinated or not because it's all outdoor, right?
We'll take care of you, Ray. No problem.
I thought so. 7:19. Interesting stories that we're following these days on the economy, the hikes in the consumer prices, and unfortunately, people aren't being able to stay on top of that with only relatively modest gains in wages.
Yeah, we've been lucky because we just got some LEAP funding from the government, the federal government, through the Guam, of course, so they can have some credit. And yeah, we'll be okay for a little while. We also, that day, we're having music by the Candyman.
Real Joe, is that you? I know who you're talking about.
Candy.
Yeah, Candy Tamman. Okay.
Yeah.
And then, Ray, I just wanted to mention on Super Bowl Monday, we're going to be having our normal Super Bowl fun over here in Crowd with Bud Family on special, and nachos and mozzarella sticks and cheese and bacon burgers for $8, and bacon with egg on top of your burger if you would like. So both days.
Is there any other way? Is there any other way to eat that great combo? Listen, I'm going to let you go. I got to take care of a couple of things here in the studio. You have a great weekend. I'm sure at some point our paths will cross, and you can tell me about your desires to once again run for political office or support somebody that thinks like you.
Thank you, Ray. Appreciate your help.
All right. Anytime, buddy. 7:21 in the morning, 888-8255, 888-TALK. Now, time to take a look at what's going on in the markets. No surprise when the CPI comes out from the Department of Labor, all of a sudden everybody takes a look at it and says, gee, I wonder what this means. And there was, as I've told you, very little of that is good news for a lot of people. We're feeling the pinches in a lot of different ways out here in the fringes of democracy. S&P 500 off by 83 points, closing at 4,504. The NASDAQ off by 300 points to close at 14,185. Dow Jones, they don't want to say free fall, but my God, 526 points, closing at 35,241. The FTSE is up. Nikkei is up 116 points. Hang Seng Index picks up 94 points. Shanghai Index, modest gains, only about 6. They closed at 3485, and the DAX is up by about 8 points, 15,490 for that particular market. Big winners on the Dow. There were winners. Walt Disney Company, because we don't talk about Bruno. I guess that's one of their songs, right? From that Encanto album. I'm learning. I'm learning a little bit. Well, you know, I've been taking a look because I've been wanting to. This is like a #1 song over the last couple of weeks out in lots of different places. But the thing is, it sounds like Broadway, right? Sounds like it came from a Disney movie, which it did. Boeing is up by 1.3 points. Coca-Cola Inc. is up by 0.5 point. I got Merck & Company and Travelers. Travelers actually backwards. That's how bad it was in the Dow today. There are only 4 equities that did any good. Everybody else went backwards on this. So take a look at the fundamentals. You know, this might be one of those days where smart guys like Ismail go, well, you know, if everybody's running away from the market, today might be a good day to run in there and pick up some bargains. 7:22 in the morning on the commodities. I got gold trading at $1,827. They're off by almost $10. Oil at $89, and it's fluctuating rather rapidly here. It was $89.66 when I looked at it an hour ago. Right now, $89.97. So it maybe gone up by about 30 cents over the last 45 minutes or so. Tapis trading at $94.42. Maybe we might have dodged a bullet on this one. It might have been just a little bit of a hiccup in an upwards direction, and now trading a little bit closer to the mid-90s here, and for a barrel of Tapis crude. That may end up being a good thing. 7:23, and is there a Bitcoin number? Real Joe.
Oh, yeah, there is, Ray. $44,030.
Just jump right in.
I'm excited, man.
How much is it?
$44,030.
Right. Okay, you can get into all of the controversial stuff. You know what?
It's Wickering, Ray.
Is that the word for the? Is that the Wordle?
Wickering.
Okay, here's the Wordle update. Wordle update. I've made my 5th guess. It's incorrect. So I got one more guess left in me on Wordle. Are you familiar?
You can do this, Ray.
Are you familiar with the phenomenon?
I have no idea.
Don't do it, Jerry.
This is going to be. You know what?
I had no intention.
You know what Wordle is?
I see lives in front of me going down the drain because of this thing. You think I'm jumping in?
Yeah. You know what this is? This is Tiger King. This is Tiger King. The world is divided in one of 2 different camps. Did you watch Tiger King on Netflix, or are you one of those people that never went near it?
No, you mean the series?
Yeah,
I watched 1 episode.
You watched an episode.
Jerry's my man.
That was it.
Free Tiger King.
Can't do anymore. Was the first? Was it the first episode? Was it like the big introduction, the big reveal, and you sit around and go, I don't get it. Why did everybody watch this? Monster of the Tyrant went all the way through.
Oh, I watched it a couple of times.
You watched this series?
Well, because the kids didn't watch it, and so I watched it again with them.
There's still ongoing cases, right? with that? Now, prior to Tiger King, the show that the world was divided on was Star Wars. I mean, there's some people, believe it or not, in the world that have never seen Star Wars, and if they did, don't get the excitement of the Luke Skywalker story.
First two movies, saw nothing after that.
Nothing after that. I kind of lost the string. I don't know. I want to say about 4 or 5 years ago. I think it was the last one where you've got the kid, Darth Vader's father, laying prostrate on the lava island, and he's got no arms and he's got no legs, and then that's how we got into the Darth Vader story, and everything after that seems to have been just picking different parts of the Star Wars universe and trying to make 2-hour movies out of them, kind of like the Marvel thing. 7:25 in the morning. What's that? You got anything for me? Is there?
No, man.
All right, just checking on it. All right, because you look like you were concerned about something on that side. It's all right. Time for the Friday version of the Extra Point, and this is obviously a lot of responsibility on Jerry's broad shoulders here. It's got to be good enough to make it all the way through, not just Monday, Jerry, but it's a Super Bowl Monday and Valentine's simultaneously, and
But we're here.
We're working, yes.
Well,
until
I'll have something on Monday
until 10:01.
Till 10:01.
Yeah, then I'm going to meet up with a government official and go find someplace to watch the Super Bowl.
There you go.
All right, Jerry Robertson, the Extra Point, brought to you by Guahan Insurance Services and the team over at First Hawaiian Bank.
Did you ever have a boss who was sharp-tongued, full of him or herself, treated workers badly, and was fully aware of all that, but didn't care? Well, I'm going to talk story today, and then have a brief message for those specific types of employers. That's next on the Extra Point.
Raise your glasses for a toast, because First Hawaiian Bank now turns your meals into a reason to celebrate. Every dollar you spend on dining purchases, including fast food, earns you up to 3 times United miles. Simply use your First Hawaiian Bank United credit card and start reaping the most rewarding credit card experience on island. Terms and restrictions apply. Don't have a First Hawaiian Bank credit card? Visit any branch or FHB.com to apply today. With First Hawaiian Bank, it all starts with yes.
When's the last time you looked at your homeowner's insurance?
We buy a homeowner's policy and never give it another thought until something happens. Life brings changes, and our coverage needs can change. The smart thing to do is get the answers and level up our insurance to make sure we're totally protected.
That's the Insurance Extra Point. Get out there and make something good happen today by calling Guahan Insurance Services at 475-1162 or visit us at the Camacho Landmark Center in Tamuning.
Many years ago, I was living in Los Angeles in a small apartment complex where a large percentage of the tenants were in some way employed in the entertainment business. There was a dancer and a writer and technicians who worked on movies and TV shows, a couple of young women who worked in accounting and finance, and a radio guy who was also a wannabe producer. Yeah, that was my role. I was in that building over 5 years, and I recall one day that a woman named Brittany, a single mom of a girl in middle school, was so excited that she'd been hired in the accounting and finance department for a production company. The money was good, and she was sure that it was the new beginning she had hoped for. The next time I saw her was a couple of months later, walking through the courtyard of the apartments at about 11 p.m., crying. She'd just come home. She said, these are my hours. She told me the hours were hopelessly long, and her boss was an absolute monster. Now, if you think of the worst stereotype of the Hollywood producer with the runaway ego, well, that was him. He screamed at her for simple mistakes, made her the butt of his jokes, sent her on his personal errands when his secretary called in sick, and that was a lot, and made her feel insignificant in every way imaginable. So why didn't she quit? Because at the time, there was roughly 20% unemployment in the L.A. entertainment sector, which was her specialty. It had taken her a long time to find that job, and losing it meant losing her apartment, maybe her car, and having to move back to the Midwest with her parents. So she stuck it out. Despite constant insults and reprehensible behavior by her jerk of a boss, we'd talk and laugh about it, but she hated every day that she had to get up and go to work. And after almost 2 years, she found another job outside of L.A., and I could see a woman who had just had the weight of the world lifted off of her shoulders. It was easy for me to try to help her because I'd been through somewhat of a similar experience. I took a job I'd hope would lead to something good, only to find out I worked for a guy who didn't think much of his employees, didn't treat them well at all, and had the massive ego. In the final scenes of a bad movie, he lied to a client, then another one, got caught, and wanted me to say that it was all my doing. I flatly refused, and he fired me. And then he told both of those clients that I had cooked up the mess. It was on me, and he had come to town to get rid of me and fix the situation. A charming guy. Not all narcissistic, egomaniac employers are screamers now. This guy wasn't. And that said, every one of them I've ever encountered or learned about were control freaks and had some rogue gene in their body that drove them to make their workers feel very small. It must be a biological prerequisite or you can't be in the club. These managers are bullies, knowing that people don't want to lose their job and won't answer back. Gratefully, the Monster Boss Club is fairly small. Hopefully, you've never encountered one. If you're a member of that club, however, I have a couple of ideas that might be helpful to both you and your employees. You see, timing is everything, and a lot of people have left Guam's workforce, and some aren't coming back. So there may not be many folks to apply if you have employees walk out on you because you are a jerk. Now, maybe I can help you keep them a little bit longer. Number one, hire someone who is nothing like you and who cares about people. Now, you tell this person what you want to be done, and they'll do all the delegating. Then get back to you with the results. Now, this means you won't have to ruin your day by talking to people who are way beneath you. You're welcome. Number two, when you conduct staff meetings, let this more charming employee run the meeting. You go in as more of an observer. Two more things about meetings. Let everybody else contribute before you do. Yes, I realize their ideas will not be as good as yours, but consider this a gift of sorts to the little people. The second thing is, don't make snarky comments about their ideas. I know this is a major source of entertainment for you, and I'm not being fair to you here. I'm having a little fun, however, and here's the serious point. If you know that you tend to be a jerk with workers, put someone between you and them and let them be the buffer. Employees will likely be happier and stay longer, and maybe you'll end up being happier too. Who knows? Could be worth a try. That's the extra point. Be responsible and make something good happen today. Don't be a jerk. For 93.3, The Ray Gibson Show, Guahan Insurance Services, and First Hawaiian Bank. I'm Jerry Roberts.
7:32 in the morning. Jerry Roberts, The Extra Point. Montecillo Towers got headlines coming up, but I was thinking about this Consumer Price Index report that came out, said we're seeing the worst inflation since February of 1982. Bad times for a lot of people, but you gotta have a little perspective here. Was it all bad? Was it that bad? Was it as bad in '82 as it is now? And I'm here to tell you, I don't think so. In February of 1982, one of my favorite late night television programs debuted. It was Late Night with David Letterman that started in February of 1982. His first guest was Bill Murray. How about that?
Nice.
Angel is a Centerfold by the Jay Giles Band, #1 song in the country in February of 9. How bad could that have been? The guy's girlfriend turned into a stripper. How bad is that?
Interest rates are 18%. However, in a personal loan.
Yeah. But Christy Brinkley was on the cover of Life magazine. So we had that. We had that going for us. It wasn't all that bad. There was enough distractions from some of the economic hard news that was floating around out there.
I'm Jimmy Carter.
Oh my God!
And I brought to you 18% personal loans.
How about that?
Thank you very much.
It'll take Reagan eight years to get this all sorted out. And by the way, we got to beat the Russians. But I'm looking at this cover of Life magazine. Incidentally, Life magazine for those of you that weren't around, that was a magazine that was out in 1982. I think they've gone away with the internet and all of that stuff. Christy Brinkley on the front cover, and the stories: a new series on psychotherapy treating the emotions. And it seems to me in the 40 years since February of 1982, we've become all about emotions and how everybody's emotions are oftentimes more valuable than the facts that might need to surround them.
It's not it's not what you do. It's not what you are. It's only how you feel.
Amen to that. And there was fear porn back in those days. Here's another story that Life magazine was covering. Are we arming for a nuclear showdown? That's what we were worried about in 1982, as opposed to mask mandates and vaccines and COVID-19. So it just to put everything into just a little bit of perspective for you. 7:35 in the morning on the Ray Gibson Show. Jerry Roberts going to be leaving for the weekend. We'll catch you on Monday morning for Valentine's, etc. Right now it is time for news and headlines at 7:30, being brought to you by my friends Ken and Karen over at Top End Pest Control. You've got varmints. Oh, you've got varmints. I'll tell you what. I've got a varmint story, in fact, on how in certain counties, urban areas and suburban areas where the numbers and reports for cockroaches and rats have gone through the roof. More people are staying outside in the suburbs and eating and cooking and all of that stuff. And the vectors have found all of them. It is absolutely skyrocketing in some places. If you got some unannounced guests, 487-5657. Also being brought to you by Burger King with the new Double Whopper Junior Your Way meal. So you get the Double Whopper Junior, French fries, 4 pieces of chicken nuggets, and a refreshing Coca-Cola at BK Your Way. Auntie Lolita Camet now with Half a Day Realty. Call her at 688-6743. Principal broker Joe D. Duenas. Now time for news and headlines with Mana Silva Tyron Mana. What happened?
There have now been 305 COVID-related deaths. 2 of them reported in this morning's JIC report. A 48-year-old man and a 61-year-old man both did have underlying health conditions. There are 50 people in the hospital and another 622 added to the list of COVID positives from public health. Meanwhile, the governor is launching another outreach, and this will hopefully get some care to individuals who are in underserved communities. The governor says that Operation Homebound intends to give access to things such as testing and vaccination. They start in Agana today and will expand to other villages throughout the weeks to come. And the vaccination support clinics launching tomorrow with starting out at the village of Barragata at the mayor's office from 9 until 12. And this vaccination clinic will be for children and families of children with disabilities. Again, it will be at the Barragata Village Mayor's office. And homeowners who were affected by the COVID pandemic and face some sort of financial hardship are urged to apply for the Homeowners Assistance Fund, but know that today is the last day to apply. Applications must be received either on the DOA website or you can go to their office at the ITC building. And those are your headlines right here on The Point.
I'm looking for now, just because there's always been, as I said, fear porn out there in the media, worried about a nuclear showdown in February of 1982 from Life magazine. But I was looking to see if there were other things out there that we were worried about them, and I found
1982.
one. 1982. It actually comes from I want to say summer of 1981, but we were still reeling from the effects of it. There was the Tylenol scare that came out in 1981, 82, and what happened was somebody went into the bottles of Tylenol and put poison in them, and everybody freaked out, and that's why,
including our mother.
Oh yeah,
oh yeah,
yeah, and that is the reason why you go and buy yourself a thing of over-the-counter drugs. We've got 18 different ways to prevent you from getting from the box into the actual where the medicine is. You got to get through the little label on the top of it. And then there's a cotton that's in there. I think cotton was always in there. It might be
safety. But the lead seal.
Yeah, you've got the covers on the top of it. Now that's not necessarily the where you got to line everything up or push down and line it up, and then you lift up and then you hold it up over your head like the priest in church. Hallelujah. How many professional how many drug people just gotten to the point where, you know what, I got good scissors. I've got those good Home Depot scissors. I'm going to cut right through the plastic and put everything in a paper bag. But people were scared about kids getting into the drugs and all of that stuff. But there might have been a couple of other things. We're just starting to hear in
1982
about a disease that was starting to go rampant in gay bars. Now
monkeys.
Now I got it. This I might need a little bit of explaining as well. Back in the day, there were gay bars. People, they had not really integrated at that time. So you had straight bars, and then you had gay bars, and that's all there is to it. I was talking to a guy.
White Swallow.
Thank you. I tried to describe that to Tim as well, but I get this guy. He's young, and he was talking about, I really enjoyed this town. I like this town, but they didn't have enough gay bars. I said, what's the difference anymore, right? Is it 2022? Isn't everybody, right? A little bit, tiny bit. I don't know. I don't think it makes any difference anymore. One bar or the other. It just seems to be like that. But back in those days, they had gay bars, and we were beginning to hear about people in the States that would nuzzle up to somebody and catch something that would eventually kill them. There's still no vaccine for all of that, but we do have it under control, and that's what everybody's saying. That making the comparison between what we're dealing with COVID-19 and the unbridled fear that has been attached to that, and what we did to overcome the mystery and the anguish of acquired immunodeficiency. 20 away from 8 o'clock in the morning. All right, it's the Ray Gibson Show. We'll get a look at what's going on in the traffic and some more of today's headlines on the way. Top End Pest Control is who you call for all your pest control needs. Got a problem with roaches, ants, spiders, rodents, fleas, ticks, termites? No problem. They do it all. Top End Pest Control is a service-disabled, veteran-owned small business and HubZone certified. Serving Guam since 2012. Call them today for a quote, 487-5657, or email topendpest@gmail.com. Check them out on Facebook at Top End Pest Control and give them a like. Top End Pest Control for all your pest control needs.
Hafa, this is Congressman Nicholas. While local COVID-19 testing has unfortunately become less available lately, there are 4 free at-home federally available COVID tests that you can have to test yourselves and your families as needed. Please contact your congressional office at 671-475-6453 or at michael.snicholas@mail.house.gov to find out how we can help you access those tests.
This ad was paid for with official funds from the Office of Congressman Michael F.Q. San Nicolas.
Thank you very much. 7:41 in the morning, Ray Gibson Show, and Mana was asking, is that what the A and AIDS stand for? Acquired? And you know why? Is because everybody's attached some other significance to it, or we stopped calling it acquired immunodeficiency and just started calling it by the name most people knew it as, was AIDS, but that actually meant something. And of course around here we didn't call it acquired immuno. Around here it was AIDS, was Adai Daganmu. Right? Was the... It's true. I'm sorry. It's true. It's 7:42 in the morning on the Ray Gibson Show. Hey, it's the Valentine's Bowl weekend. And if you've got somebody that you'd like to celebrate your love with, call. Maybe it's getting close here, guys. Maybe what you want to do is go to Cold Stone Creamery. They've got one at GPO, and they've got one at the Micronesia Mall so that you can share your love with an ice cream cake, chocolate dipped strawberry ice cream with red velvet cake, strawberry fluff frosting, and cascading chocolate ganache, oh my gosh. Cold Stone's Valentine's Day ice cream cake. Call or order online or in person at Cold Stone Creamery, made fresh daily. Sorry, I'm not ready for school today because I didn't have the gizmo open to see where the ugly traffic is. Oh, let me put this on the screen so you can see it too. Okay, pow pow to Wai Sang Song. Died the gun move over there. Route 3 on the Marine Corps Drive by GRMC. It's ugly up there as well. Looks like things busied up at Anderson Air Force Base. They're putting, what they're doing. They're putting cards in the spokes on those big F-14s that are out there. They're going to be even louder today. The sound of freedom, ladies and gentlemen. We got a little bit of traffic over at 810 and 16. I'm sorry, that's an understatement. It's ugly at 810 and 16 from before Happy Mart onto the intersection down there. Then we got traffic from about where the Wendy's is that's running slow. And then once you get past that Vale of Tears, there's a line of traffic between there and Golden Sea for people that are trying to get into Teeds. And it'll open up again after that, but you still got to stop and go from all the other intersections that they put on the most intersection road in Central Guam, which is Route 8. How come Route 4 doesn't have as many intersections and lights as Route 8? Why is that? Right? You figure there's just as many people live there. It's a gateway to the south on that side. Well, I better I'll be quiet. Otherwise, they're going to say, "Hey, you know, we're doing striping here, and we're doing reflectors on the road. Let's put some more. Let's put some more signal lights up here." So 4 is looking good. You get into again, it's intersection traffic through there, and we've got some the usual slowing down over at Naval Base Guam here at 7:44. There is your right now traffic. 93.3. We are the point.
Family Finance has been serving the people of Guam since 1959, and they will continue to be there for you in the years to come. Get a personal loan for that summer vacation or to pay off those long overdue bills. Family Finance has got you covered. Apply for a personal loan from $1,000 up to $3,900 by calling Family Finance in Hagåtña, now at the old Nanbo Insurance Building at 475-4545, Upper Tumon 647-5626, or in Dededo 633-4473. Family Finance, here to serve you.
Love is perfect timing. And now is the time to make a move on the apple of your eye. A new iPhone 13 and Apple Watch make the perfect pair. And you can get yours now during GTA's Valentine's Day special. For a limited time, buy an iPhone 13 on HPO and get an Apple Watch 7 for free. While supplies last, terms and conditions apply. To find out more, visit gta.net or call us at 671-644-4482. Roses are red, violets are blue. At GTA, we start with you.
7:45 in the morning, and America's Great Unmasking. That's what it's being referred to as states across the country. I think Nevada was the most recent one, have begun another great unmasking as they prepare to enter the post-Omicron phase of the pandemic. Reasonable experts don't exactly agree on whether it's the right time to start exposing our faces in the public again. That makes it difficult to gauge how much of this broader shift is based on science versus changing. Are you ready for this now? Risk tolerance. Risk tolerance. And people have finally started to read up on some of the science that says, wait a second, you're somebody of a certain age, of certain health characteristics, maybe no more comorbidities and things. Maybe it's time to rethink all of the different fear porn that we've been exposed to over the last couple of years. We're starting to get to this place where there's almost a cultural shift, where there's an acceptance around certain types of risk. I will take it a step further. I'll take it a step further and say that there are a whole bunch of people that have just had it, mostly because much of the fear porn that we've been spoon-fed over the last couple of years, in many cases, has been contradictory, to say the least. 7:46 in the morning, there is an anti-mandate motorcade that's going to be taking place over the weekend. In fact, let me see, tomorrow. With details, I've got Liz from the Freedom Coalition. Good morning, Liz.
Good morning. How are you?
You know what? I'm absolutely terrific. I'm sorry that gas prices are $5.19 a gallon. Hopefully that doesn't prevent anybody from joining your motorcade.
Right. I guess it's a good thing we live on a small island.
You'll be able to get around. Now, I've got to say, I've got to think that there's a little bit of this motorcade that has been suggested by the Freedom truckers out in Canada.
Right. Like, I guess we just kind of took their lead and decided that we were going to join that bandwagon and try to get the people of Guam involved.
All right. Well, I like the idea. So it starts at 9 o'clock tomorrow morning at the Dededo Sports Complex. And I imagine there's going to be a whole bunch of people in this lineup of automobiles. Is there a route that you guys are going to be going on? And how do you want people to, by way of visuals, show off their participation in this anti-mandate motorcade?
So we're just encouraging anyone who wants to participate in the motorcade to show up with signs, flags, honk their horns, loud noise makers. We're going to make our rounds around the island. The first stop's going to be at Yipao Beach. Then we're going to head to Asan. Then we're going to be in Agate across from the inn, and then we're going to stop at Marizo at the basketball courts. We're going to take a little jaunt to Jeff's Pirate Cove and hang out there for a little bit.
Beat me then.
Mangilao.
Beat me when you get Pirates Cove. That sounds like a good place to reconnoiter with you guys.
Absolutely. Enjoy the food and the drinks and the atmosphere. We're going to stop at the Mangilao Payless, the one closer to UOG. So hopefully we can get some of those people out there to come and hang out with us. And then we'll be stopping at the Hagåtña Shopping Center. We're just encouraging anyone who is anti-mandate. We don't care if you're vaxxed, you're unvaxxed. We don't care any of that. We just want to get our lives back. And we would love anyone who thinks that same thing to come out. hopefully they can kind of keep track of where we are around the island based on the noise.
Well, with the social media, I imagine there might be some folks in the Freedom Coalition that will be posting the whereabouts and running some kind of live stream to the social media. You going to be doing something like that?
Oh, absolutely.
There
We
you go.
always have people posting pictures and doing live feeds, so it shouldn't be too difficult to keep track of us.
All right, and people from all over the island, when they see, all they got to do is wait until there's an opening, and they might be able to rally up with you and join the motorcade, right?
Yes, and we will also have the petitions to sign there. So if people want to use their signature to send a message to our legislature that we're done with these mandates, it's time to get back to normal and live our lives, we'll be happy to have them sign our petition.
Well, hopefully they get a massive signatures on that. Otherwise, I've discovered that the legislature is rather timid on that particular score, and despite the idea that they've got the tools that they need right now to be able to end this public health emergency, so we can join some of the other sane states in the United States, they say they have not had an opportunity. They haven't yet taken advantage of that opportunity.
I know, and they have us in their back pocket, and we are out there hitting the pavement, doing everything we can. So we just wish that they would, step up and do their part.
All right, well, we'll keep an eye on things. In the meantime, the governor said that we're beating COVID-19, so maybe it's just a matter of time or, I don't know, political expedience before they start talking about, in the very least, taking the masks off the kids in school. I consider that a unique form of child abuse. 7:51, Liz, how do people get a hold of you if they want more information?
So they can email us at freeguam2021@gmail, or we're on Facebook. Just got to search Guam Freedom Coalition, and we'll be happy to talk to you.
All right, and we'll talk to you again about other anti-mandate opportunities and protests as the days and the weeks continue between here and eventual end of the public health emergency. Good luck tomorrow, and be safe.
Thank you. Have a great weekend.
I will. Normally, I wouldn't say be safe, because I've discovered that it is one of the things that kind of annoys me since the COVID-19 starts. Everybody's like, hey, be safe. What are you talking about? This is from what? I had it. It was a pushover of a flu day. 9 away from the top of the hour, 888-8255. Simon Sanchez from the Consolidated Commission on Utilities. Hard to go a couple of days without talking about utilities and getting Cy on the line. This time here, it looks like there have been pay increases that have been moved forward to GPA and GWA, but not everybody was able to get some love. And I appreciate the acknowledgement of what the optics would have been. Good morning, Cy.
Hey, buenas, Ray. Viva Business Friday. So it's a great time to spend with you, and as we look forward to hopefully a very nice weekend. And as I said to Real Joe, I said happy Valentine's Bowl, right? Because it's got Valentine's and Super Bowl, and Jeff's going to have 2 parties. It sounds like that.
Yeah, it does.
On Sunday and Monday. So I hope people have a wonderful weekend. It's sort of and it's a nice combination, right? Be there with those you love, and then root for your team or not your team, and watch a good game and pretend to work that morning. And,
I got to ask you. I mean, there's the Bengals, and I got people that are saying that aren't fans of the Bengals, had forgotten they existed as a football team until the last couple of weeks of the playoffs. But you got the Bengals that are going in there, and they're playing against the Rams. I don't know that you've got any reason to be a super fan of either of the teams, but I know you're a football fan. So, what are your thoughts on the outcome? Don't worry, I won't hold it against you if you get it wrong.
Well, ever since I went to fantasy baseball, football, and basketball, I cheer more for players than for teams. But I just always want a good Super Bowl game that goes down to the end. We've had a couple of really good ones, and boy, the playoffs were exciting. You've got the Cinderella team of the Bengals, you got a team of the Rams who probably are favored to win, and Stafford's been a quarterback that finally is playing in a place he could be successful. But no particular team in this hunt. Just want a great game, and then want it to end by 1:30 so we can go play golf.
I gotcha. I hadn't thought about any other extracurricular activities that were going to take place.
That's our tradition.
And I know that you and Lou are one of these. It's one of these relationships, couples that each day is Valentine's Day, right?
Not each day. There's some days I'm less for Valentine, probably well deserved.
I think it was at one of your birthday parties, and you got up to speak. And one of the things that my takeaway from that particular birthday party was it just you're at a certain time in your life where you're just happy to be useful.
Yeah, yes. Kind of like in government. I try to be occasionally useful. I'm not always sure I am. But
wait a second. Hold on. Government, you brought it up. I'm going to swing that over to politics because it's a wide door that we can walk through here. What's going to be happening with Eddie and Felix and Joe, Uncle Joe Ada? There seems to be a whole lot of conversation about some of these elder statesmen becoming actively involved in conversations about Antelope these days. You're an insider. Tell me what you think. What are you hearing?
Well, there's a strong rumor that one of those three people is running for governor, and the other two are very happy that they're not, and are going to support the other one. And you know, we Republicans chuckle, and the Democrats chuckle with us that, you know, generally the Republicans win the governorship when the Democrats are fighting with each other. But you know, and when you look at it at another level, and I was talking to actually Governor Camacho a few nights ago, and you know, the Camacho clan got 12 years, the Calvo clan got 12 years, kind of the hybrid out of Blas got their 8 years, and then when the Democrats unite, Governor Gutierrez got his 8. You know, Governor Luz got her 4 and is trying for her second 4. And but when the Dems fight, the Republicans usually do well. And then there's a heated battle for the majority, because there's talk of some senators not running again. Some senators might run for lieutenant governor, and the Republicans and the Dems are real tight in terms of the number count, and you got to get the 15. And there's 3 CCU seats open, and that'll be open this year for folks that want to run or want to change who's on the CCU if they see fit. You know, I've been very honored and proud to be allowed to serve the people of Guam for the last 5 terms, and I'll throw my hat in the ring and offer my services and see if they would like me to.
Oh, is this a re-election year for you? I didn't realize that.
Yes.
Well, I have to start charging you for these calls.
No, only 90 days before. And
Where's
the rate sheet?
There we go. Well, it's already out there. It's I forget what it was last time, but it'll be higher.
Yeah, but you guys all raise it. You guys all raise it just before the election. Remember, I've been in this game as long as you have on the
Wait, hold on. No, I'm perfectly justified in doing that, Si. We are the Pica's best radio station. I got the placards right behind Mana. You see it every day. Yes, it's a Pica's best radio station. So that's why if there is an increase in the rates, then that's why I think there's a added value to that kind of thing. Getting back to CCU business here, so you had a meeting about raises, and it looks like there's a couple of guys that are going to have to take a pass on it. As I said, I appreciate what the optics would have looked like. The price of everything is out of control. We got the CPI now at 7%, highest inflation we've seen since you and I were since the first time you tried to hire me in February of 1982. So we got that going on. We got the price of fuel that is out of control, and we've got supply issues all over the place. And then I think the optics of a bunch of guys running around with a 5 or 10% increase in salary would have given the wrong impression, wrong optics.
Well, I didn't vote for the increase to John Kim. John Kim's our GPA CFO, and thanks to Senator Bob Klitsky, now the star of your radio station. Sorry, you have to defer to him.
Absolutely.
And Senator Joanne Brown. We went to them in 2007 and said, look, we're having trouble recruiting and retaining. So they created a law that allowed autonomous agencies to, if you're certified technical professional, our wastewater workers have to be certified, a lawyer's, a technical has a professional license. And if you're there, then we're going to create a wage scale. You have to do a survey, which we do on a regular basis. And at that time, all of our line employees were at the 5th pay percentile. In other words, 95% of the rest of the country made more for the same job that they did for similarly sized. We looked at similarly sized utilities, and we've been doing that ever since. But now we've moved them over since 2008 up to the 20th percentile, and we've done it without raising the base rate. None of these pay raises would have affected your rate. It's oil that affects your rate. But like you said, it was sort of, just the right time for raises. But Mr. Kim is only at the 10th percentile. He's been with us for 6 years. He's done an outstanding job. He's the one that figured out how we could get credit cards available for GWA and GPA. You could use your credit cards to pay your bill, even if you were a commercial account. He saved us a ton of money. Instead of saying a percentage, which you normally do when you use your credit card, we got a flat fee, and he brought that from the private sector. We stole him from GTA, and he really had done a good job. He's been with us 6 years, but he's only at the 10th percentile. So we moved him up to the 20th, so he could be with the rest of the employees. But all the other managers are either at or above that 20th percentile. And
45 seconds.
Yeah, and there's something about you want to stay with your team, right? A leader needs to be with your team, and the ratepayers, the shareholders that own these utilities, all of them are telling me that they're doing good work, but now's not the time. My coworkers at the laundries, they're working 3 days a week. No one in the private sector is granting raises as much as people may be deserving. I'm sure you wrestle with the same thing. You have good people working for you. You would like to help them more, but times are tough, and so we need to all kind of be. We recognize that. So I announced publicly I wasn't going to vote for any pay increases. And other than Mr. Kim, there was either no motion to raise an increase or a motion to increase. A couple of the employees was voted down, and by 3 commissioners, and including myself, Commissioner Limchak, Commissioner Martinez. So the majority of the commission agreed with the ratepayers and the shareholders that now is not the time to talk about it as deserving as people may be.
Keep it up. Get us to cheaper electricity using cheaper sources for the energy, and we'll watch and see how things happen over the next year or two. 8 o'clock in the morning. So I got a breakaway. Happy Valentine's. Happy Super Bowl. Let's see you Monday.
Yeah, you take care.
Promise. Stand by now. We'll join Fox News Live in progress.
As last month.
Fox Business's Edward Lawrence at the White House. President Biden says his proposals that stalled in the Senate would help lower costs for families, including prescription drug prices.
Bringing down the cost of health care, bringing down the cost of prescription drugs is an easy thing for us to do.
The president visiting a swing district in Virginia as he takes pieces of his domestic agenda back on the road. Police warning a convoy of truckers in Canada. They can be arrested for blocking streets, but the protest over COVID mandates continues nearly 2 weeks after it started in Ottawa, where there's a party atmosphere at times. Fox's Molly Line is there.
Protesters here on the ground, they have been struggling to feel heard by the Trudeau government, by the Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, and also by the media here in Canada. They say they feel like they've been painted in a poor light, and they're pushing back against accusations of racism or extremism in their ranks.
Meantime, a 4th day of disruptions on the Ambassador Bridge between Detroit and Windsor, Ontario. Ford, GM, and other companies scaling back production on both sides of the border. The Windsor City Council today signing off on seeking an injunction to end what it calls an illegal occupation. What amounts to a victory for the Me Too movement in the U.S. Senate. A bill aimed at ending forced arbitration wins final approval. It's heading to President Biden's desk. America is listening to Fox News.
$15 might not get you that far, but Chili's is bucking the trend with $15 meal deals. At Chili's, $15 gives you not 1, not 2, but 3-course meal deals complete with a drink, a starter, and an entree. Mix and match 3-course meals 15 ways to Sunday with soup, salad, or chips and salsa to start, and ranchero chicken tacos, honey chipotle crispers with rice, bacon ranch quesadillas, or personal fajitas for the main course. Build your own $15 meal deal at Chili's. More life and great value happen here.
JV International Safety Equipment has it all for you. Fall protection, rain gear, traffic signs, speed bumps, custom signs and banners, PPEs, fire extinguishers, plus more. Check them out on Facebook at JV International Safety Equipment Company or visit their website, www.jvisec.com. JV International Safety Equipment, Guam's leader in occupational and environmental safety equipment. Call 688-9524. JV International Safety Equipment, located in Harmon Industrial Park.
Masks are coming off in another state. Nevada's Democratic Governor Steve Sisolak rescinding the mandate.
Let me be clear. The state will no longer require masks in public places, but employers and school and organizations, including school districts, may set their own policies.
And he urges respect for people who choose to keep wearing masks. For casinos, the change does not take effect immediately. State regulators say an industry notice will be sent to notify licensees of the change. Evacuations along the Southern California coast, but no damage after a wildfire erupted.
The outlook now is positive. The weather's improving, winds are down. They have all the resources they need here because it's the only fire in California. Compare that with 4 a.m. This brush fire exploded, 50-mile-an-hour winds, no rain for 6 weeks in a wilderness area. All it needed was a spark.
But Fox's William Lajeunesse says the water drops started before dawn. The fire's been about 5% contained. There's a big deal in the NBA as a basketball star changes teams again.
For the second time in just over a year, former NBA MVP James Harden has been traded. So much for the Big Three in Brooklyn. James Harden had joined Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving in a trade from Houston last January. The Nets, though, never found consistent chemistry that translated to potential domination that may have been envisioned when they made the deal to get Harden. Today, the Brooklyn Nets beat the NBA trade deadline by agreeing to deal Harden along with Paul Millsap to the Philadelphia 76ers, who part ways with a player who had been trying to get on a new team since last season ended. Ben Simmons, who hasn't played this season. The Nets get not only Simmons, but also Seth Curry, Andre Drummond, and 2 first-round draft picks. Jared Max, Fox News.
Wall Street goes back to wondering exactly what the Fed is going to do about inflation. The Dow drops 526 points today. The NASDAQ tumbling more than 2%. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News.
Attention Guam Power Authority commercial accounts. GPA proudly announces that our Energy Sense rebate program has just gotten bigger and better to include customers on rate schedule G and J. With GPA's Energy Sense program, commercial accounts can receive up to $350 per ton in rebates with the purchase of a qualified unit through any of our approved vendors. The GPA Energy Sense rebate program helps lower energy costs, improves energy efficiency, and saves you money. Visit us at guampowerauthority.com/energysense. Effective dates for units may vary.
Did you know that 1 in 50 employees open a phishing email every day? Introducing Lookout, the leading mobile security solution that fully protects your company from all mobile threats. Get Lookout Mobile Security for free with any Docomo Pacific Business Unlimited mobile plan. Some conditions may apply. Learn more at business.docomopacific.com. Docomo Pacific Business. Work better together.
Do you have arm or hand pain that prevents a good night's sleep? Or do you drop things or have difficulty in holding or doing your usual daily activities? Then have Dr. Jerome Landstrom, a board-certified hand surgeon and combat veteran with over 25 years of experience in diagnosing and treating upper extremity and hand problems. Let him provide care to you and your loved ones. Call 671-646-HAND for an appointment and visit his website at www.pacifichandsurgery.com.
Your local news is brought to you by Nambu Insurance. Skip the line, pay online. It's fast, it's easy, and it's secure. Visit Nambu.com for more information.
Half a day, it's 8:06. I'm Mana Silva Tyron with a look at your local news on the point. There's now been 305 COVID-related deaths, the latest 2 reported in this morning's JIC report. There are also 50 people in the hospital with COVID-19, 6 of them in ICU. The JIC report also has another 622 cases of COVID-19. The governor has launched an outreach initiative that will get individuals in underserved communities. It's called Operation Homebound, that will send out individuals from various partnering agencies to seek out people who need assistance with either testing or vaccination, or also information or support from the WIC office, SNAP, Medicaid, MIP, and Medicare. The outreach will include support from Public Health and the Office of Homelessness Assistance and Homeless Coalition, as well as the Guam National Guard. It's called Operation Homebound. It starts first in Agana and will expand to other villages throughout the weeks to come. Meanwhile, the beginning this weekend, COVID vaccination support clinics will launch in the village for families of children with disabilities. It starts in the village of Barrigada from 9 until noon. You can go to the Barrigada Mayor's office. Of course, you're urged to make an appointment via Eventbrite. And something to note with regard to the UOG vaccination clinic. Saturday clinics will be changing their hours and will be running from 11 a.m. until 5 p.m. on Saturdays. Of course, if you are going to attend one of the UOG clinics, you should make an appointment via Eventbrite. Homeowners who were affected by COVID-19 and were affected financially by the pandemic are urged to apply for the Homeowners Assistance Fund being administered by the Department of Administration. Today is the last day to apply, though, and the applications must be received by the close of business today. Guam Homeowners Assistance Program provides $15,000 in relief to homeowners who've had experienced financial challenges or other difficulties affecting their housing stability due to the pandemic. Again, today is the last day to apply. You can go to the DOA website or go to their office at the ITC building. We'll have more news right after this.
Go green, go solar, and save big with Nambo Insurance. When you power up your home with solar panels, Nambo Insurance will pay up to $350 toward your power bill. With Nambo, you can enjoy great savings while going green and helping to save Guam's environment. At Nambo, it pays to go green. Terms and conditions apply. Visit Nambo.com or call 477-9754 for details. Nambo Insurance, proudly serving Guam for over 50 years.
A Guam man who was once a Department of Corrections guard is being held at a detention center in L.A. after he was picked up on a federal warrant issued by the district court here on Guam. The Guam Daily Post has the story. Ronald Artero Pereira appeared virtually from the Metropolitan Detention Center and admitted to having a relapse and went on a drug binge after he was released from custody last November. His defense attorney told the court that Pereira admitted to the violations filed by the U.S. Probation Services. Pereira currently is serving 3 years supervised release in connection with a federal drug conviction. Gorman told the court that he is working on his drug abuse problem. He'll now have to go before a chief judge on Guam, and that judge will determine how much time he will serve after admitting to the violations. Also from the Post, another drug smuggler denied in the federal court that he used meth. Even though he tested positive for meth, Joseph Caballero is on a supervised release for his arrest and conviction back in 2014. At the recommendation from the probation and the federal prosecution, the judge ordered Caballero to go back to prison. And the Post also reports a man who admitted to taking photos of a teen girl known to him while she was in the shower will not spend any additional time at the Department of Corrections. 23-year-old Justin J. Babauta pleaded guilty to invasion of privacy as a third-degree felony, got a year's suspended sentence. He will be placed on 3 years supervised release and will have to register as a level 2 sex offender. And those are your top stories here on The Point. Here's Ray with your weather.
So I was looking at that Life magazine with Christy Brinkley on it from February of 1980. That was a nice picture, wasn't it? It was. It got me thinking about some other great magazines that we used to have. Now, before the internet, that's what we did. Is we read magazines, and they were, instead of having a new thing that came out every day, or in some cases with social media these days, about every 20 minutes. And back in the old days, you get a subscription, and you got 12 big issues every week, every year. For all kinds of different magazines. It used to be a Playgirl magazine. Did you remember that, Real Joe? Were you ever in that?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God. Wouldn't that be awesome? It's like all the great porn magazines from back in the 1980s. And there was a whole section of the store, and they'd have to be in plastic bags. I think might still have some of those things.
No free reading.
Floating around. The Cosmopolitan was a big magazine back in the 1980s. February of 1982, as a matter of fact. And I'm looking at the cover of this magazine because I find it interesting. I find the thing interesting. It's an interesting, kind of jump back through time. I don't know how much of this you can see. First thing Real Joe says is, "Who's that? Who's that on the cover of Cosmopolitan magazine?" All right, just keep this in mind. She's 40 years older now. I'm not saying that that's a bad thing. I'm just saying 40 years older. Her name was Karina Gomez, and don't bother. I already tried to Google. Karina Gomez, who was on the cover of Cosmo magazine. Right? I have no idea, but she got those stormy eyes. I'm a sucker for stormy eyes and curly hair. And would you take a look at the outfit? They got the just sequins, and then it tapers down into a belt that's got the metallics. Metallics were big in 1982. But some of the stories that they were writing about in Cosmopolitan. Here's a couple. Manless after a heavy long-term relationship. What to do? And with whom until you try again. Followed by the compatibility quiz that's in every Cosmo magazine. An X-rated hotel for married lovers. Naughty, nutty, naughty, and nice. I like this. Good advice then, good advice now. Learning to say no can be step number 1 to an uncomplicated life. Then there's this. Frustrated, frigid. A noted no-nonsense therapist reveals how to find the joy of sex. Now, some of you that are much younger listening to the broadcast going, wait a second, they had sex before me? You're kidding, really? It was a thing back in the 1980s? Yeah, because the 80s weren't the 50s, so it was okay to start writing about that. The sure way to banish the blahs, it works. And then there's a story about Jane Fonda, not so plain, unmellowed, and newly magical, or so they thought in 1980s. She was doing the body workout routines. You remember in the 1980s?
Yeah.
And then there's this story. I'm telling you, I want to find a copy of this magazine because I'd like to see what they wrote about in this story: the sexual aura of the powerful older man.
Oh yeah.
Well, I got the older part. I don't know about powerful. It's 8:14 in the morning, and I love these little time trips. The reason why February 82 is because, according to the new numbers that were released here, the last time inflation was as bad as it is now was February of 1982, and I don't remember it getting better in March of 1982. So I got a feeling, kids, that we're in for kind of a slog here with prices on pretty much everything. 8:14 in the morning on the Ray Gibson Show. Where am I supposed to go? I was supposed to do weather? It's going to be nice this weekend. It's wintertime here on Guam. I know. Can I tell you what I saw? I went to the beach for a little bit yesterday. Because I wanted to see what kind of eye candy was washing up with this Cope North thing. And I'd seen for the first time in my life, I saw a bunch of white people get into the water and say, "Oh my God, it's cold!" You're kidding? Wait. No, it's that's
Welcome
things
to
that
Fantasy
that's
Island.
things that guys from here say when we get in the water at this time of year. Oh my God, I can't believe how cold it is. You get people going, "Man, I'm from Hawaii. This is great in comparison to Hawaii or
No,
LA
but
or
the other
water."
it really hits you when you get up because the wind.
The huge wind, right?
My gosh,
freeze you out. And then, depending on what time of day, there's not enough sunlight to dry you off in a hurry. So you just sit on the beach, literally brown people's lips turning blue because it is so bloody cold outside. We got more of that for you over the weekend. Daytime highs today, 86 degrees, winds out of the northeast at exactly the right angle to sandblast you on Epau Beach in Tumon. 11 to 14 miles an hour. We'll see gusts over the weekend. Some of them as high as 26, 32 miles an hour is what they're predicting on Sunday. But the flip side of this is we got anywhere in between partly cloudy and mostly sunny skies over the next couple of days. I'm thinking this is going to be Grill Marks weekend somehow or another. The way to guarantee Grill Marks is to get out there every day and try. 8:16. That's news and weather together here on The Point.
My family and I trust the FHP Health Center because of our connection with the healthcare providers. The services are mostly under one roof, enabling a one-stop for all of my family's medical, urgent care, imaging, dental, vision, laboratory, and pharmacy needs. My family and I trust FHP Health Center. You can too. FHP accepts most insurance plans, TRICARE, Medicare, Medicaid, and self-pay patients. For an appointment, call 671-646-5825, press 1, or takecareasia.com. FHP Health Center, our island, your clinic.
Hafaday, this is Congressman Nicholas. While local COVID-19 testing has unfortunately become less available lately, there are 4 free at-home federally available COVID tests that you can have to test yourselves and your families as needed. Please contact your congressional office at 671-475-6453 or at michael.snicholas@mail.house.gov to find out how we can help you access those tests.
This ad was paid for with official funds from the office of Congressman Michael F.Q. San Nicolas.
We got to hurry. I got Roy Respicio on the other line. It's a big name here. I can't keep him waiting. Portions of the program brought to you by Mama Tove and the entire team that she's got laid out over at the Tove's place. Just FYI, they're open. They're open at 8 o'clock in the morning. You should call them immediately, if not sooner, and say, "I need roses or bears or chocolates, balloons. I need them delivered, and I need them delivered before all of the other wives at my wife's work get their stuff." They'll figure it out for you. 646-4132. Again, the number is 646-4132. For those of you that subscribe to the Ray Gibson rule, not that it helps, apparently, but each day is Valentine's Day. They will be open on Sunday starting at 10 o'clock in the morning. That might be the perfect time for you to go in there and get all of the stuff that you need to have, I don't know, Valentine's morning surprise before you disappear for the Super Bowl. 8:18. Again, the number is 646-4132.
It's the Ray Gibson Show. Call now, 888-TALK. That's 888-8255.
8:18, Ray Gibson Show of the day. Toto Malik, how are you, Mr. Speaker? Mr. Speaker, welcome to the program. If you just tuned in, you might be wondering if you've missed anything tectonic, and the answer is no, not really. Spent a little bit of time with Simon Sanchez on the phone, Jeff from over at Pirates Cove, might be a few other people. In fact, I know we've got some interesting conversations. You know, I'm a big supporter of the military here on Guam, and that's all of us, active duty guys, as well as the veterans and their families. And you know, I've been working with Dyron and Tim Ono, trying to help them as much as possible publicize their ideas about a special commemoration for Gold Star families, and I'm going to continue that conversation in the next hour. And have some Kleenex handy, because this could be a tearjerker. 8:19 in the morning on the radio and on the phone right now. I got the boss over at the Port Authority of Guam, their general manager Rory Respicio. Buenas and Alpha Day, Rory.
Hi, Alpha Day. Good morning, Ray and Senator Mana and Real Joe.
Hey, good morning, Senator.
That's nice to call her Senator.
That's Senator too.
Yeah, I guess important general manager though, Rory Respicio. Happy early Valentine's to you.
To you guys as well.
Got anything
and
planned?
You have a very exotic theme going on, Ray. And if people are just tuning in, they really missed a lot all morning. You went from fear porn to I don't know where this is going. And then when Real Joe messages me that Ray's asking you to come on the show, you have a really good producer. He's very convincing, very calming.
But what the hell could it be? How does Rory fit in with all of the stuff that we've been talking about? February issue of Cosmo magazine and the allure of the powerful older man. The reason why I'm reaching out to you, because this is interesting. It's interesting to me at a couple of different levels. One of them was because there was a point we were this close to becoming customers of the port. I was going to be, but normally you think about port user guys, and you know, it's the guys that with the trailers and the tractors and moving stuff and containers. But there's a whole lot of other that they do over at the port, and there was a piece of property that I wanted to put an antenna on, and unfortunately time shifted, got into COVID, and that was no longer a practical project. But it was kind of fun working with some folks over at Glenn Nelson as among them over at the port to try to get this done. You've got a solicitation of interest in today's newspaper, and page 20 of the Guam Daily Post, and you are looking for folks that might be interested in becoming, I guess, tenants of the port.
Well, Ray, since we talked, we've really looked at how we lease commercial property here, given the statutory requirements that anything over 5 years has to go before the legislature, and that includes extensions. So we have in-house counsel, Attorney Christine Clavera. You know, I've been talking to her, and I'm saying I don't think the leasing of commercial property is procurement. Procurement is at the end of procurement, you go for lowest amount gets the bid. When you're dealing with commercial property, it always has to be about highest and best use. And she did some legal work, which was memorialized in a resolution which the board drafted, and the board basically set a policy that requires that we put a notice of availability for all commercial available property here at the port. And the general manager can entertain month to month up to a year. And then the board will entertain 1 year to 5 years. And then anything over 5 years would have to go before the legislature. And the board did one thing better. They took another step to say that along with the notice of availability, they're also saying that they will entertain exceptional term leases. And so if someone comes here and says, well, I saw the notice of availability, I'm going to need about 10 years for this certain property, this is my business plan, then the commercial division will do all of its due diligence. We present to the board can already entertain an exceptional term lease, not to consummate it, but to entertain it, and then have that thing forwarded to the legislature for their disposition. So we kind of working around the statutory constraints that we can't have anything over 5 years, but we want to still be able to entertain any interest from month to month to a year to 5 years to and beyond. So
right,
very different
because there are due diligence and infrastructure concerns both need to be addressed there by the very fact that it's, there's construction around water, and in some cases the Army Corps of Engineers need to be brought in as consultants and advisors for either the port or the potential tenant that's going to be out there, and the fact that given the cost of everything these days, the supplies, the materials, and the labor to do this kind of construction, people are going to say, I need a little bit more than 5 years to be able to recover my investment and actually start making some money. So basically what we're looking for is, if you've got interests to be one of those exceptional lease partners with the port, now's a good time to advise them of your intentions.
Correct. And we have companies such as Smithbridge, and they do month-to-month for certain areas, for a lay-down area, because they are pursuing this work that they have at the Navy base. And so we entertain those. We process them quickly with all the due diligences involved, and it just it makes for a better working environment to generate the revenue that we need beyond the cargo container throughput.
So I'm kind of excited about the possibility, because I've been inside of this and I've seen it. And unfortunately, because of COVID-19, one of the people that I would be sharing some space with, Common Borders, on some spaces, I don't know that they're going to be able to do kind of a tourist attraction that they wanted to do down by the Port Authority beach on that side of the arrangement. But you've got there are properties that go from Marine Corps Drive and all kinds of other maybe unknown spots out there, and so now is a good time to start talking about the locations on Cabras Island and around the Marianas Yacht Club that could be utilized for all kinds of different marine activities.
Correct. Not only marine activities, but transshipment activities. And we have Vice Speaker Barnes' program, their statute, creating the Transshipment Task Force. Governor Leon Guerrero is the chair of that task force, and Gita's Ed Camacho has been driving that together with all the different members of that task force. And Senator Tina and the governor has been able to secure a grant to provide for some consultancy to help drive that task force, and in terms of a consultancy, and the whole idea is added value to these products can be brought in from Asia, can be assembled here at the port, can be repurposed and put in containers and shipped out to parts of the United States or anywhere back to Asia.
Interesting. Now,
much opportunity.
Well, I don't disagree. I'd like to see some of those kinds of things happening. I think there's because of where we are, America and Asia, and in between some of these places where that kind of assembly could work out, maybe even a little bit cheaper out here. We'll watch and see how. Are you talking to anybody right now? I mean, it's sometimes you see these announcements go out as a way to lubricate our conversations that are already taking place.
No, not at all. There's
Not yet.
no active solicitations based on that notice of availability. But everything will be transparent as always. Everything would have to be put on the website, notice to the board. We do all those things routinely.
Right. And I'm glad that you brought that up. So moving forward now, I can see that there are all kinds of opportunities that are going to be taking place for new businesses out there. Now, you've got other places where there are already ventures here. How much of this is going to support renovation, reclamation, and general cleanup of the area that is a harbor of safe refuge?
I believe we're in the procurement process to repair some of the docks at the Harbor of Safe Refuge, and then we are almost at the tail end of the derelict abandoned vessel program that Walter Leon Guerrero and EPA, GPA, and the port we've been involved in, together with, of course, the governor and lieutenant governor. So I think if you drive by there, you're going to be able to see some activity.
Okay, I'll be on the lookout for that. I know that you guys have been removing the derelict vehicles, but it was one of those things where, we got a headline or two for a couple of days, but not a whole lot by way of where are we now and just how much cleaner of an approach is that before you get into the Apple Harbor area.
And the PD mayor has committed to helping us with some of the abandoned vehicles that's been left over at the Old Hawaiian Rock area. You don't get to see it when you're on the main road, but if you go in there, you see a lot of scrap metal that's like scrap metal cemetery that's been there over the years.
Since.
We have a program for that as well. But Ray, before I go, I just want to...
What, were you not going? I had a couple more questions.
Okay,
what, are you busy or something? You got the governor on the other line?
No. Before you let me go, I have all the time in the world. Okay. I'm talking to Ray Gibson, and it's Valentine's weekend.
But okay, go ahead with what you were going to say, and I'll jump in.
I wanted to make sure I talk about this performance maintenance contract that we have that went all the way through procurement, that went through PUC, and Madsen is the service provider. Gantry 5 was down for a little over a week because of a computer board. So they had their PMC guy and our crane mechanics working on that. They had to fly in this computer board. They replaced it. They updated the software. But what's different this time around is they can update and do diagnostics wirelessly because they set up some Wi-Fi capability. And our guys are trained now to be able to communicate with the guy in the States if he can't come to Guam and there's a problem. They do it online and they do it wirelessly, taking advantage of the technology. And as a result, Gantry 5 is up and running. She was up and running the other day, and just in time to discharge the Madsen vessel.
8:29 in the morning. That good news. We have technology.
Bernie Valencia and your team and our team. It's just a match made in heaven.
We use similar technology where if I've got an issue on my machines, there's a guy 24 hours a day in every time zone that I can call. They can tunnel into my systems and generate corrections as needed. Now we were talking about some of the other facilities. Harbor Safe Refuge among the more notable ones, at least for some folks that are going out on boat dives and tours and things like that. But there are a few other places. In fact, over the weekend, I hope to be spending some time over at the Agate Marina, and I know that there have been some conversations about concentrating some repair efforts there after a couple of storms. And then I've always got the feeling like Boat Basin is nothing but potential. We've got so much that could be coming to us in a couple of years as we rebuild tourism. You got any conversations about the Boat Basin area and the Fishermen's Co-op where we might be able to turn that into it's kind of a real kind of downtown-y San Diego kind of San Francisco, Seattle boardwalk kind of feel, real touristy?
Well, we know that the governor's put priority through GITA to do the Fishermen's Co-op, and then there's this seawall that's going to be constructed. And thankfully, GITA has the funds at this point. The port committed some money, but Mel Mandela and her team has been able to, figure things out without having to tap port resources, and we greatly appreciate that. But in conjunction to that, the snows availability would open up the door for an opportunity for a public-private partnership to create more docks there at the marina. There's just all sorts of endless opportunities that can occur.
Cruise line? Cruise line? Is anybody saying the words cruise lines out loud?
But it wouldn't be at the Ganya Boat Basin. I know that was talked several years ago. We're rehabilitating Hotel Wharf, and another thing that we're chasing through the administration is the porting of a cruise ship. So we did get a bid for Hotel Wharf. This is public information because it's a bid. Sumitomo Construction submitted $59 million.
This big number kind of takes my breath away here, considering the numbers of small in comparison with CARES Act and ARP and things like that. But we were talking about renovation for bigger chunks of the port at around $79 million. Mm-hmm. So just hotel is going to be 59.
But it will not be 59 in the end because we're in active discussions with that offer, and through negotiations and through other means, we definitely cannot afford $59 million, and so there's other alternatives that we're pursuing.
Got any Tiger grants coming up soon?
Yeah. Well, there's the RAISE grant, and in the RAISE grant, they're saying that if there's any other prior funds that need supplemental, but then we can apply for that. So there's. And then remember we had a conversation where the governor spoke to Vince Arreola, and he's committed federal highway monies to rehabilitate Route 11 into Hotel Wharf. So that'll shave off about $3 million from that project. But that project, to begin with, was only budgeted at $24 million.
Yeah, well, you got to do something about that roadway. It's too windy in one direction.
Yeah.
Anybody that bikes or jogs up there.
But we're hoping to work through these things and figure out a win-win.
8:32 in the morning. Roy Respicio, the GM and former Senator Roy Respicio, General Manager of the Port Authority of Guam. It's always great talking with you. I always find out some new stuff here. And it looks like significant progress is being made despite COVID-19 and some of the other things. You know, a lot of people concerned about supply chain issues. And I'm sure as somebody that, A, works at the port and B, is intimately involved in the supply chain here on Guam. Your thoughts on some of the inabilities of some grocery stores to be able to keep, quick consumables and perishables in stock these days?
Well, it's direct connection and a tie-in to the pandemic globally. Thankfully, we don't have any of those experiences like the Port of Los Angeles or the Port of Long Beach, where you could look out the ocean and see a ship for as far as the eye can see. Matson is running their own. They have 2 terminals, and APL gets service as soon as they get in because of their ability, I think their flag carrier ship kind of status. But we don't have those backlogs here at the port, thankfully. If there's experiencing some shortages in the grocery store, I've caught a conversation that you had with Mike Benito explaining that it's just a source issue, not the supply chain issue.
So you keep things as lubricated as possible over at the port, so when the ships do come in, we can get them offloaded, get the goods down to the warehouses and into the stores as quickly as possible. Hey, listen, you have a great weekend and enjoy your Valentine's. I'll talk to you later.
Thank you, Ray. Thank you, everybody.
I appreciate the time. It's always interesting to see what's going on, and the idea that they've got this request for interest on some of the places that they've got there. I think there might be some people with some cash that they've got on hand and opportunities that they may be able to press that cash towards. Could mean jobs. Could be some interesting things in the hospitality industry. Could be some interesting things happening with trade here. 8:34 in the morning. Montecillo Tyrant has got that last big look at news and the headlines, and it's coming up right after these.
What's a better way to celebrate Valentine's Day than celebrating it at Mezcla with their 3-course meal? Starting off your meal with a salad appetizer, followed by a main entree of your choice, and of course, to top it all off, to make Valentine's as sweet as the day itself, a melting lava cake with vanilla ice cream and caramel sauce. So what are you waiting for? Call them at 671-649-2652 or visit mezclaguam.com for reservations. See you there.
Guam Auto Spot has the best selection in Buick, GMC, Mitsubishi, and used cars like the 2021 Mitsubishi Mirage, starting at $127 per paycheck. 0 down. Call 671-478-AUTO to take a test drive or get pre-approved online at guamautospot.com.
So is it what it is, or is it what some in the media are making it look like? All Sides is an app that I have on my phones, and oftentimes we find ourselves, at the grips of some big story in the mainland, and you go, okay, well, I wonder what this is all about. And some of you will go to more conservative-leaning websites, and some of you will go to more liberal-leaning websites, and oftentimes the answers are completely different. All Sides asking, is the Biden administration using taxpayer money to distribute clean crack pipes? Washington Post, lefties, say no, the federal government isn't spending $30 million on crack pipes. What is it, the Build Back Cracker? No, I'll find it. The right, Newsmax says Biden meant to fund clean crack pipes, other drug measures, and what they're referring to as the center of the media. White House disputes reports of federal funds for crack pipes. So it'll be interesting. Like I said, download the All Sides app on your phone and find out. Other ways that you can find the truth, merely listen here. News with Montecillo Bataran, your last look at big news and headlines before it gets to be the Super Bowl. Havamana, what happened?
Well, there's a virtual confirmation hearing this afternoon at the legislature. Our favorite government name up for confirmation. It's Jesse Garcia, who was the former deputy director at DPW. He's up for the airport board. If you want to submit your testimony and support, you can send your testimony to Senator Amanda Shelton. Meanwhile, a session called for next week, February 18th at 2 p.m. The Speaker sent out the notice today. The agenda has been set. You can find that on the legislature's website. And from the JIC this morning, 2 new COVID-related fatalities brings us to 305 total deaths related to COVID-19. There were also 622 new cases that were confirmed out of 2,400 people who were tested day before yesterday. Those are your top stories.
So the legislature's going into session next week?
Next week, after the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So
It's like Thursday, Friday, right? The 18th, I think, is whatever the date.
We'll ask Jimmy where he was.
Well, that's why we're hoping to get a hold of Jimmy to find out if he's got any ideas on what they're going to be talking about, what the actual session agenda is.
I think there's an agenda. It says it's on their website. I didn't look
What
at
is?
it.
I mean, is it like a real agenda? Here's all of the bills that we're going to be entertaining, or
I think they
just,
do
we're
like
going
a
to do the
preliminary.
INFRESI and
They do a preliminary, and then they do their add-ons maybe on the day of.
Because I'm wondering, what wondrous treats will we be wowed and amazed by this legislature? What have they been working on here that'll finally make a positive difference in our lives here on Guam? Or is it going to be more paper shuffling and resolutions?
Yeah, so the draft agenda has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 motions. Those are the vetoed measures up for. And then on the second reading file, they've got 8 bills.
Does it say which ones they are?
7 bills and 8. Yeah, I'll send you the link.
Oh, lucky me, so I can look at it myself.
Yeah, because I'm off.
Because you're done.
Because I'm off now.
She's punching out. Okay, got you 20 away from 9 o'clock in the morning. More Ray Gibson stuff next.
Check out the newest hydro and garden center to hit Guam, Crop King Hydro. We have a huge selection of plant nutrients, soils, hydroponic mediums, organic pest control pumps, plant support, tools, and so much more. Call 635-4769. 635-GROW. Open Monday through Saturday, 10 to 6 at the Dededo Satina Mall, right across from Payless and Paradise Fitness. For whatever you grow, think Crop King Hydro. Crop King Hydro.
Howdy, folks. KFC's Colonel Sanders here to tell you KFC is bringing a new heat to Guam with the Denancy brand hot sauce. KFC hot comes in 2 ways. The twister is KFC chicken, our famous red rice, pickles, and Denancy wrapped in a toasted tortilla. The Denancy chicken sandwich has an extra crispy quarter-pound white meat fillet, spicy pickles, and Denancy sauce. Now that's hotness done right. Try one or try them both. Available at all KFC restaurants.
Hey, Mom's birthday is coming up. Where should we go for her birthday dinner?
Whoa, check this out. Nana's Cafe is having a shrimp and steak dinner special available now until September 30.
Really?
I heard they got that good. They have a flavorful Creole and Cajun, tasty dynamite duo, and a mouth-watering garlic.
Seems to be a lot going on in that break. Do we have to redo that again so the clients don't get mad?
I wasn't supposed to play that. It just
popped in?
It started, yeah.
So I was pondering something. You know what I'm thinking about doing here? Should be one of those things like whoever I'm talking to on the phone, if you're on Facebook Live, just tell me, do you think this person is watching the football game on Monday or will they be watching ice skating? You know what I mean? I don't know. It's in my head. It's a thought that's in my head, and you know how it is. If it's in there, it's eventually going to make its way out because there's generally no real filter in this program. 888-825-5888-TALK. And so I'm cruising the internet, which I will do from time to time. Oh, can I tell you what I've been invited to do? Somebody said your birthday's coming up. You're going to be 60 this year, and you need to do something, bucket list, right? Bucket list. And I said, well, what do you have in mind? And they sent me a picture of the Skydive Guam.
Yes, Ray. Do it, man.
No. My response to you is no. N-O. Capital N, capital O. And you might be wondering why that is. And the reason is because I don't want to be in a plane that's 10,000 feet in the sky and strapped to some guy that we're going to tandem jump out of together and hurtle towards the Earth at 32 feet per second squared. Terminal velocity. Do you know why they call that terminal velocity? Some people say because that's as fast as anything can fall. I say, no, it's because it's 32 feet per second squared. You will die when you hit the ground at that. And it doesn't need to be at 10,000 feet. You can do that from 150 feet at terminal velocity at some point. So the answer is no. I'm scared of falling. I don't like heights. And I did very few things that I am afraid of. But that's one of those that I'll get into that nightmare mode, and that one will keep me up at night. That and drowning in fire and stabbing and getting shot by whatever. Okay, so just a handful of things. And the kind of dying that I'm not afraid of is the one where you accidentally are in the garage and leave the car on, you fall asleep and die of carbon monoxide. Just one of those things. I just want to go peacefully in my sleep. But anyway, so the answer is no. And the person writes back, "You're gonna die soon anyway." I'm going, yeah, you should not be in their sales department.
Oh, thanks, man.
No, you should not be in their sales department.
Spoiler alert, Ray.
I'm cruising through the Facebook, and I see on Facebook a note from somebody that says, "Oh, I'm going to be on the Ray Gibson Show this morning," and we will. About 9 o'clock this morning, Tim Ono is going to be coming in, and he's going to be joined by a lady named Emma. Emma Louise Elizabeth Wright. And there's a really great story behind this, and it has to do with obviously her Gold Star widow and her husband, who has passed on, and it's a really kind of a terrific story. And I'm worried that when she starts talking about her husband Todd and what was on his computer when it came back from Afghanistan. Join me with that. It's just a way that we can, as we go into this weekend, Valentine's weekend to be sure, and there's going to be all kinds of places. VFW is going to be doing stuff. I showed you that poster a little bit earlier. I know the guys over at the American Legion are going to be doing stuff, and you get together with those kind of folks, and there's this kind of, everybody's got these bonds amongst each other, and this is a great way to kind of talk about that, amplify the folks that have made the sacrifice and the people that they've left behind. And that's why we offer as many of these Gold Star opportunities as we possibly can when Dyron and Tim ask. 8:45 in the morning on the Ray Gibson. Who's on the phone? Who is that? Is it
It's Uncle Robert? Yeah.
Uncle Robert. It's time for Uncle Robert's Neighborhood. My God, it's been a long time since we talked to him. We try to insulate, the phone calls that we get with Mike Nicholas and the phone calls that we get from Uncle Robert. Just want to do it that way. Hey, Uncle, how you doing?
I'm doing fine.
I'm
Good
glad
to hear from you, Ray.
Where exactly on the planet are you, Uncle Robert? Are you here?
I'm right here in Tamuning.
Not too far. But before we get too far into the conversation, I was devastated to get news the other day that my beloved Auntie Annie has passed away. Auntie Annie Underwood Berdalio has gone to Fred.
That's right. And she's there's 6 of us in the family, and she's the oldest, and I'm the youngest. Mm-hmm. And she died peacefully in her sleep, but she's had, for a few months, problems with her lungs, and wonderful woman, wonderful person. I think people's remembrances of her are exactly on target. Very caring, very well organized.
Just a lifetime of memories for both of us, and in many cases, I mean, she was a kind of a glue that kept everybody together. And among the roles that she took for our families was the role of the tetza, and I think she'd appreciate the joke. Who's doing the tetza? Who's for the rosaries for Auntie Annie?
Great, yeah, it's great because she does it fast. That's what everyone says. I
think,
love it when she says the rosary because it's fast.
And most of the time got the right number of Hail Marys in there. What a terrific lady, and kind of want to say kind of a family historian, being one of the oldest of the cousins, and so I felt the same way when my mom passed. Was that hearing about her dying and knowing everything that she knew about the family is like watching a library burn down a little bit,
It's true, and she has all these pictures, and I would methodically go through the pictures with her. I haven't been able to do it for the past few months, but sort of go through them, and she'd tell stories, and very amazing. She had a great memory. A lot of people relied on her. A lot of people in extended families, both on the Underwood side, the Bordallo side, the Taitano side, would call her, email her, text her. Polly Eric relied on her a lot. So, it was all of that. She was, and she organized all those family gatherings, which brought people together, which made people think that I was a Bordallo.
Well, kind of no choice. I mean, they were all
by marriage, but other than that, no.
They were all necessarily big to begin with because Auntie Annie and Uncle Fred had such a large family and so many kids. So if we're gonna do this just for our family, we might as well invite everybody else's. Get the Martinezes and the Torreses and the Underwoods from all sides together.
Yeah, so they had 11 children, so they were a traveling party themselves. So.
Absolutely. Hope that there are a bunch of people in the medical community that have an opportunity to come out when it's time for rosaries and funerals and things like that, because she was such a fixture at all of the versions of the Guam Memorial Hospital.
That's true. She was director of nursing, and of course she had her own professional career. And then of course there's daughter Annie, who's up at GMH now, and she had her. Dr. Bordallo is also terrific. So, and then you have all the kids doing different things, all of them successful in their own ways.
A fairly productive family that we come from, huh?
That's right, yeah.
Got
right. So,
congressman in there?
There's a judge there that I hope I never have to appear in front of.
Well, not like he's got a reputation as a hanging judge, especially when it comes to people that shoot dogs. But I'm going to leave that. I'll leave that to a conversation between me and Mike, not me and you. 10 away from the top of the hour. Always good to talk with you. And a couple of things. Now, the folks over at I was talking to the congressman about this earlier this week, and there was something in the newspaper today about the House passing H.R. 3539, naming the Hagåtña Post Office facility, and they named it after a fellow named Atanasio Taitano Perez as the first postmaster of Guam. And I had always been kind of under an impression that your grandfather, my great-grandfather, was the first postmaster of Guam.
Yeah, probably the first official postmaster, because they had like different levels of appointments, and I have that record somewhere. But, it's also another relative from my mother's side, so that's okay. But the question on that, it always has struck me, because the Underwoods have been in the post office business for so long. Even my own father was acting postmaster. Mm-hmm. So, it's I thought, but I guess because I had looked into that, I thought that property in Hagåtña really is leased property. And even though that passed the Congress, there may be some dispute on it in the future that you can't really name a post office unless it's on federal property. And that isn't federal property, so we'll see.
Interesting. And that's not the original footprint for the post office either. I mean, it seems to me my recollection of pre-war Hagåtña is that it was a little bit closer, maybe by where the rotating pope is, would be about where the old post office was. Because wasn't it directly across from the opening of the old Hagåtña Cathedral?
Yes, a little bit more in that direction. Yeah, a little bit more in that. And of course, some of it people may remember was still there after World War II. The remnants of the old post office was still there, even as they built this huge elephant Quonset hut that served as the temporary post office, which is now, I think, where the post office is.
Well, it's always interesting. Whenever somebody does construction out there and they got to dig any deeper than about 2 or 3 feet, I always like to look inside the holes because there are remnants of old pre-war Hagåtña. It was bombed to bits, smithereens, as they say, back in the on the liberation of the Second World World War. And then the entire area rendered flat, and some of it pushed out to the Paseo. But if you dig any deeper in a couple of feet in Agana, you will hit artifacts of one kind or another. And then I'd spent a lot of time in some of those ditches when I was a kid, which will explain why I was such a dirty kid. 8:52 in the morning. It's Valentine's Bowl weekend, Uncle Robert. One of those rare occasions where we've got Valentine's and the Super Bowl happening at exactly the same time. Rams, L.A. playing against the Bengals here, and you've got some affection for Los Angeles. And I got cousins that live out there. So is that who I should be siding with?
That as far as I'm concerned, that's the official Underwood team.
All right. Well, I take that from you. You are the elder of the family now. Oh my God, how's that feel? Oh my God.
I'm the guy.
Oh, that's frightening. I'm sorry, from in a lot of different perspectives. One of these days, I'm going to be the guy. How scary is that? Wow. Is it now? Is there some kind of swearing in that you got to have?
No, they just keep emailing you and calling you and asking you questions, and then if they disagree with you, they just say, "Oh, he's old."
Yeah, that's right. He's from that side of the Underwood family. He's not real Verdalio. It's 8:53 in the morning. Too much fun here. Hey, can we jump into politics just real quick here? I want it to be Republican politics because I don't want to be accused of egging on any more fights in the Democrat Party. So we've got a number of elder statesman names that have popped up on the Republican side, and just because I'm kind of curious, do you think that Felix Camacho / Eddie Jerome Baza-Calvo / Joe Ada have any possibilities of winning Adelup, or number two, any business even running for the job? I mean, at some point you got to say, I did my 8 years, right?
Yeah, you should say that, but not everybody said that. There's some people continue to run for governor all the time,
right?
But no, it's hard to believe that, but I think it really speaks to the fact that the Republican Party needs to start growing their farm team.
Well, we said that about the Democrats a few years ago.
That's right.
And some prominent names come out.
There's no shortage of people in the Democratic Party who think they can become governor, but in the Republican Party, it's like nothing has surfaced yet. So when nothing surfaces, you kind of look back. There's also Frank Blas Jr. I saw that in the paper.
Right.
So it's going to be a crowded field. Maybe there'll be 4 people in the Republican primary. That's what happened with the Democrats last time. So, sometimes when you have that crowded field, you create a lot of hassle, but sometimes you create a winner.
Well, I'm seeing. I haven't seen it in a published form yet, but I am getting folks that are sending me this rumor, that rumor, and the other. And I think the idea is trying to put together kind of an Excel spreadsheet. We get some names on it and see how people feel about different characters in different races. It could be an interesting time for people running into slots in the legislature, because there feels like they're going to be either people that aren't going to be running for re-election, that know that there isn't a snowball's chance of hell that they're going to make re-election into the 37th Guam legislature, or going for other positions. So I think it's going to be interesting to see if there's a lot of openings for some new names for the 37th Guam legislature. And I gotta ask you, because last time around you ran for Congress, and we've got another election here before the people of Guam. Less than 200 days between here and the primary election. Does my Uncle Robert have any designs on any offices that might be up for grabs?
Yeah, I'm running for all of them. And, the last time I ran, of course, I didn't announce till June, which was pretty late.
Yeah.
But, no, right now I'm not really thinking about that. We'll see what happens. But right now, there's a lot of things a lot of projects I'm working on. And, we have some family illnesses to deal with. And so we're okay.
Busy enough as it is. Don't need the complications of being on the campaign trail.
That's right. And so, as long as one of those potential 4 Republican candidates doesn't accuse Lou of using her gazpacho police. They're going to be okay.
Wait a second. Hold on. I had not even gotten to that story, but you've swung me in that direction, so I might as well. Marjorie Taylor Greene, who is, I think you and Mike Sinicolas can both agree on this, that she might be, of all of the airheads in Congress, maybe the leader of the airheads in Congress. Marjorie now has come out with another kind of gaffe, and we normally leave this to the guy that said Guam was going to tilt over to completely gaffe. But Marjorie Taylor Greene has made reference. Now I want to see if I can find the quote here. Yeah. She alleged that Nancy Pelosi's campus congressional police were spying on members of Congress in a now viral video in an obvious mix-up. She ended up complaining about Nancy Pelosi's gazpacho police.
I think that's it.
What you were going for, sweetheart, was Gestapo, but she said gazpacho, one is deadly serious, and the other one is kind of a mild kind of soup here that you might be able to have. But it reminds me that there might be an opportunity here for some kind of I don't know, hands across the water here, where we might be able to take some guys. We had the guard guys take her cookies. You remember last time? And maybe we can have somebody take her a bowl of
gazpacho.
Some kind of soup.
Apparently social media is on fire with this, and they're saying, is she going to be worried about Sangria law?
Well, that's okay. We can talk with Tello about her linguine from the Inifresi. Well, better leave it. Have we pissed off everybody on both sides of the aisle? All right,
I think so.
Our time here is done. Our time here is done. I said we always try to walk off on a successful note, and I think that's a good one. Uncle Robert, hug and a kiss to Auntie Nerissa. I'll see you soon.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Closing.
Thank
you, thank you. 8:59 and change. It's always fun to spend time with family, and even though we've got a couple of sad things to talk about in our family, losing Auntie Annie was a real blow. Obviously, thoughts and prayers out to the kids and relatives from all over the place. We all have a whole bunch of memories of her. I've got a lifetime of memories of her, and I'm looking forward to an opportunity to sit down with the boys and the girl about how great, how lucky I was to know her, their mom. It's 9 o'clock in the morning. 888-8255, 888-TALK is the telephone number. We'll take a look at what's going on in the Facebook Live while the Fox News is playing, and I'll get things all set up for what I think is going to be an interesting interview. It all starts with us wanting to honor Gold Star families here, but there's such a great story attached to this one that I could not resist the opportunity to spend some time in talking about it on the radio here today. So stand by. As I said before, you might want to grab a hanky or a Kleenex or something like that. For me, I might get emotional here. It's 9. Here's Fox News.
Back on the road. I'm Lisa Lacera, Fox News. President Biden in Virginia this afternoon, again pitching his Build Back Better program, focusing on skyrocketing prescription drug prices.
The president told a community college crowd in Culpeper, Virginia, that with the stroke of a pen, he could cap insulin costs $35, and importantly, let Medicare negotiate drug prices, which is currently not allowed. President Biden said his legislation would hold drug companies accountable for what he called absurd drug prices.
Drug companies that increase their prices faster than the rate of inflation once the price is set will face a steep tax. This will help us end the days when drug companies can increase their prices with no oversight, no accountability.
He said, for example, if a pharmaceutical company invented a cancer-curing drug, it should be treated as a utility to keep the cost of it low. Jessica Rosenthal, Fox News.
Earlier, the president again promised to act to bring gas prices down.
When the price of gas went up, you felt it in the household. You knew what it was like. It matters. But the fact is that if we are able to do the things I'm talking about here, it'll bring down the cost for average families.
Comments coming after the Labor Department said consumer prices soared 7.5% last month compared with 12 months earlier, the steepest year-over-year increase since February 1982. Stocks slumped after the inflation reading. The Dow lost 526, the Nasdaq minus 304, the S&P off 83. Nevada, the latest state to abandon mask mandates effective immediately, but like many other states, Governor Steve Sisolak is leaving it up to local governments to have the final say, and he says it's also an individual choice.
I expect all our employers to respect the individual decision of employees who make the choice to keep their mask on. Just like vaccines, masks are a great tool that we have at our disposal.
Hospitals, clinics, and other medical facilities will still require masks. America is listening to Fox News.
you that far, but Chili's is bucking the trend with $15 meal deals. At Chili's, $15 gives you not one, not two, but 3-course meal deals complete with a drink, a starter, and an entree. Mix and match 3-course meals 15 ways to Sunday with soup, salad, or chips and salsa to start, and ranchero chicken tacos, honey chipotle crispers with rice, bacon ranch quesadillas, or personal fajitas for the main course. Build your own $15 meal deal at Chili's. More life and great value happen here.
Family Finance has been serving the people of Guam since 1959, and they will continue to be there for you in the years to come. Get a personal loan for that summer vacation or to pay off those long overdue bills. Family Finance has got you covered. Apply for a personal loan from $1,000 up to $3,900 by calling Family Finance in Hagåtña, now at the old Nambo Insurance Building at 475-4545, Upper Tumon 647-5626, or in Dededo 633-4473. Family Finance, here to serve you.
A plan to give tens of thousands of sex abuse victims compensation is closer to completion.
The Boy Scouts of America has won backing for a landmark sex abuse compensation plan from a long-standing holdout. The official committee representing more than 82,000 individual claimants. The deal offers a pathway out of bankruptcy to the youth organization and roughly $2.7 billion for abuse victims. The group filed for bankruptcy in 2020 after being hit by a flood of sexual abuse lawsuits, when several states passed laws letting accusers sue over allegations dating back several decades. A bankruptcy judge would need to sign off on the settlement. Lillian Wu, Fox News.
Britain's Prince Charles is self-isolating after testing positive for COVID. The 73-year-old met dozens of people during a large reception at London's British Museum yesterday. Charles had COVID in March 2020, and his office says that since then he has been vaccinated and boosted. He recently met with his mother, Queen Elizabeth, but the British press reports she is not displaying any symptoms. States get the green light to begin building a nationwide network of electric vehicle charging stations.
It's a proposed nationwide network of electric vehicle charging stations about every 50 miles along interstate highways. Part of the Biden administration's $5 billion plan over 5 years to push electric vehicles, in which states must submit plans to the federal government and can begin construction by this fall, focusing first on highway routes, then rural areas, enabling drivers to fully recharge their vehicles in about an hour. Electrics amount for less than 3% of U.S. vehicle sales, though the Biden administration has set a goal of 50% by 2030. Jeff Manasso, Fox News.
Instagram has a new security checkup, a feature which guides people how to secure their account. And there's now also a way for users to manage their content and delete old posts and interactions. I'm Lisa Lacera. This is Fox News.
Wow, nice smile. So perfect and all.
Thanks. I owe it all to Dr. Robert Yang and his Smile team. They do wonders for a healthy, happy mouth.
Got teeth? Don't wait until they hurt. Schedule your routine checkup and cleaning with Dr. Yang and his Smile team. Suite 119 in the East West Business Center, Upper Tumon. Call 647-8702 or 3.
The best thing that happened to teeth since toothpaste.
Dr. Yang and his Smile team.
They make smiles happen.
Hafa Day, this is Congressman Nicholas. While local COVID-19 testing has unfortunately become less available lately, there are 4 free at-home federally available COVID tests that you can have to test yourselves and your families as needed. Please contact your congressional office at 671-475-6453 or at michael.snicholas@mail.house.gov to find out how we can help you access those tests.
This ad was paid for with official funds from the office of Congressman Michael F.Q. San Nicolas.
6 after 9 o'clock in the morning, and we're back on the Ray Gibson, back into the studio, I suppose. Portions of the program brought to you by the guys over at American President Lines, a global presence with a local home and also Mescla. If you haven't figured out where it is that you need to be thinking about going for Valentine's, I don't know, it's the Friday before Valentine's. I'm not going to say that there are guaranteed reservations available for you. Call them and find out. Get into the Chamorro cuisine that they've got there, those gourmet burgers, keto-friendly menu, and so much more. Chef Peter and his team will put together and just dazzle you on Valentine's. But like I said, I don't know how many seats are available. The number is 479-2652. Call and make reservations. You've got some options here. You can have your dinner at the main Mescala location in Nagana, or the one that they've got in the Grand Plaza in Tumon. Again, 479-2652.
It's the Ray Gibson Show. Call now, 888-TALK. That's 888-8255.
So it's 7 after 9 o'clock in the morning, and if I had not loaded up a guest in this segment of the program, I would have been talking about pizza vending machines. It's a thing. How is it the land of technology and opportunity and gee whiz science out there, and there are a bunch of places around the country now where you can go and get your hands on a pizza that's in a vending machine. Now, this is the kind of thing that you'd expect out of Japan. All kinds of things are available in vending machines in Japan. But pizzas, they figured out a way to get the technology so that you can go up to it, make the order, figure out what your toppings are going to be, slam the credit card in, and before you know it, a piping hot pizza comes out. And I know some of you are saying, Ray, what kind of quality is that pizza going to be if it comes out of a vending machine? I'm here to tell you, with very few exceptions in my life, I don't think I've ever had a bad pizza. It's possible that I have it, but I don't recall ever getting anything like that. 8 after 9. In the studio now, I got a couple of people, and we'll make introductions in terms of gender, girls first. And in this case, I want to introduce to you, her name is, and she uses all of her names like she's running for office here on Guam, Emma Louise Elizabeth Wright is in the studio. Welcome to The Point. It's good to have you here.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, it's a pleasure. You are a little bit shy around microphones, aren't you? You don't do
I'll
this.
get that. No.
Well, welcome to the program. This is as noisy as I generally get, and I'm glad that you were here, and I'm glad that you're a guest of some folks that I have a great deal of respect and admiration for. Tim Ono, a for real war hero, is in the studio. You always nod your head and say, "No, that's not the case." Come on, I'm just a guy.
Honored to be here.
Well, the pleasure is always mine. I appreciate. I didn't get coined, but I did get pinned, and I appreciate this. And the pin is of kind of a mock-up of a Gold Star Family Memorial. And is this what ours is eventually going to look like?
That's exactly what it's going to look like, except the back is more personalized as it relates to this region, the culture, and everything else. You know, the Laddie Stone, all the stuff that shows what our island folks are
is all about. I mean, this project seems to have taken off rather rapidly. We first heard about it, listeners of The Point first heard about it when you and Ira were in here, and it was Liberation Day, I think, or the Friday just before the Liberation Day holiday. We've got that telephone call from
Herschel Woody Williams,
there you go.
Medal of Honor recipient, last surviving Medal of Honor recipient, actually, at 98 years young.
Yeah. Well, and it was one of those things where we're having a problem setting up the telephone call. There was some confusions about it.
Bubble wrap?
And this guy calls in, and in the last, it was one of those rare times we kind of let the show go over the boundaries, because the conversation was just so incredible. Not just the war stories, but things about his life, even from then, moving on from there. And as we are here to do today, is build a little bit more awareness for Gold Star families.
Yes, sir, absolutely. And Emma is the Gold Star.
A Gold Star wife.
Then,
and that's an interesting place to begin the conversation, but it's not all about the conversation. Tell me if you know, and this Valentine's weekend here on Guam, tell me about Todd.
Tell me about Todd. Well, Todd was in the infantry in the Army, so I lost him September 9th, 2010, and we weren't actually married for very long, unfortunately, like really only a couple of years. And, and our daughter was 9 months old when he left, and he really was only out there for 3 months or so. But he got to see her over Skype or we did, I don't remember what it was back in the day. It was terrible. It wasn't FaceTime, but he got to see her over video that way.
Well, the impossible time difference between Afghanistan and where you were, and all of those things, a number of and the technical hurdles that you've kind of got to get through. But computers, for better or for worse, will save your life one way or the other, and save relationships and marriages and things like that. So he had a computer, he had a laptop with him while he was out there.
Yeah, he actually had my old computer, and there's some. This is crazy because I've not actually told this version yet. I used to keep a blog, right? Because it was like 2011, and that's what you did.
Yeah.
And while Todd was at Ranger School, I was pregnant with my daughter. And so it was a way of updating family and all that stuff. And it was barely an audience. Like, it was literally just my family.
Yeah.
Because that's all like the only people I really knew.
Mm-hmm.
So, it was pretty small. And
Wasn't MySpace or anything like that, was it?
No, I mean, it was just like a blog spot or whatever. Yeah. It's still up there, and somehow after Todd died, I wrote this blog, and I shared that he had left these letters on the computer, and on the computer that I got back in the trunk of all of his stuff, all the stuff that's covered in moon dust. Like, you can turn the pages of the books, and there's just dust everywhere. The computer, everything was redacted. I didn't know that was done. They go through and make sure that there's nothing that's, gives out any kind of intelligence.
Okay.
So on the computer, the only thing left was these two Word documents, Dear Emma and Dear Kylie. And so I shared those on a blog, and they somehow a month and a half later just sort of got picked up by the media.
Another blog, somebody else in the social media world.
Daily Mail.
Yeah,
I guess. I didn't really understand how online journalism worked in that way. I was very naive to it because I just didn't know. I was really young.
Well, and it was in the beginnings of those times where who knew what was in the public domain in your blog.
Got, like, ambulance chasers for people's literally worst nightmares. Like, they'll come for your story, your story that is, if it's got potential to be sensational or whatever it
clickbait, you called it.
Yeah, I think that's what it morphed into over the years. It's been really mentally taxing to watch the story. I hate using the word story, because then it doesn't feel real anymore. It feels like they've taken what they wanted and used it,
capitalized on the suffering, and what were dreams that Todd had for you and your daughter that were supposed to be just between you and your daughter.
I guess, and so that is technically that's on me. I put that out there, and I weighed it in the beginning, and there was hesitancy, honestly, from family and just in some of the being public in some ways. That's why a lot of families aren't, after a loss. But I didn't know that it was going to go this way.
Well, let's talk about those letters, if you don't mind. What did Todd write to you? What did he say to his daughter? How did he impart a lifetime of his and give advice to a daughter that he barely knew in real life and only knew from looking at her on the videos?
The only reason I really shared those was just because I was so impressed by what he had said for his own age, because he was only 26. And to have to write that, like, that's what made me feel better. I was just like, if he says I'm good to go, I'm good to go. We got this, And then I came to Guam. I got remarried. to Navy. I like to swim with sharks, I guess.
I wanted to ask about that, but I'll wait for a little bit more before we get into the conversation about filling shoes and things like that. It didn't feel like an appropriate analogy as I was pondering it this morning, so I might find a different way to ask basically that same question, especially when it gets to be a weekend like this where your thoughts are going to be in so many different places. But was when you saw those letters, you didn't have any idea that they were in the computer?
No.
Did it feel like he was? Did it feel like Todd was talking to you from beyond the grave when you opened those things up?
I mean, I can hear his voice in them, but it didn't feel dark or anything. It felt hopeful, and that was something that I thought was. I don't know. I felt pretty like I wasn't sitting on the couch eating ice cream, and it was the only way I felt that I could sort of explain to people why I wasn't in that really dark place. Maybe it starts to catch up later, because it starts to expose itself, this like grief journey and being a widow. Like, even though I'm remarried, like, it doesn't change that my daughter has an entirely separate family tree and a family that I'm committed to making sure that she knows, and I'm doing my best part to share her birth father with her to the best of my ability, because there's no book on how to do any of that, And
was there? Did you have support at the time? I mean, that's one of the things about the Gold Star. Is this when the Gold Star families now that we're trying to get together?
I was in the States, and I had access to go to programs. Like, I was involved with TAPS, Tragedy Assistance Program for Survivors, and I could go to the annual events in DC, and it's these huge events that people come from all over the states, and it's like-minded people, it's workshops, it's the services that they help you get connected with. Just when I got to Guam, the first thing I did was look for my Gold Star community, and there wasn't.
Where are they?
I looked for months, and I mean, I was Googling, and then I finally found like the Survivor Outreach Services Facebook page, I think, but like the activity, like the programs didn't exist. The community
you heard me tell the story with Tim. It wasn't until July of last year that I found out that there was a Gold Star family and Gold Star efforts that were taking place here on Guam. So that's not surprising at all.
It's taken a long time of me breaking down further, because when I got here and I found that there weren't those, the support I was used to, the only other thing I could think to do would be to be strong and support myself. You have to work with what you've got. And if I've got nothing, I'm working with nothing. I'm going to figure it out. And so I went like on a full-on like fitness bender, just the deep end. I went full extreme. Like, if you needed adrenaline or pushing yourself too far, I was there for it. If it was 2-a-days, if it was carrying Kylie on my back until she weighed 50 pounds while doing whatever ridiculous hiking that was dangerous. Maybe not with Kylie.
But, I was going to say skydiving. We were just talking about skydiving a few minutes ago.
That made me feel something. Like, I tried to support myself, but at the same time, I struggled without that network. I couldn't do it on my own anymore, because my body starts breaking down. And I don't know if it's a unique situation that it's just me, but I know that I don't have anyone else here to ask, because my current grief never stops, because my story just keeps going around and around and around. And I'm watching all the details spin out
every single time,
wider and wider like a tornado. And I'm losing all the real details. And I'm watching this fake story become into existence. I'm watching people take, zero effort to actually learn anything about what is actually needed in our lives, our current situation of clearly she's broken, otherwise she wouldn't be here, Nobody asks me. Like, it's too easy for these people to call themselves journalists and to just check my Facebook
and see what you've got to say.
And decide, like, what are you, an internet detective? Like, I can sell my own story if that's the case. It's
and be in control of it.
Where I don't like the path, the direction that society.
Have you lawyered up? Did you find a lawyer to help you control the story and the narrative that other people are pitching?
Done anything except watch it disappear until right now.
I hope you find peace while you're here on Guam. You said you swim with sharks.
I'm working with Tim because I want to see. I want to see there actually be presence and acknowledgement that there are people that are here. Maybe if not me, I'm not permanent. But I have been on Guam long enough to see that, like, if I'm cracking, then how on earth is anybody else who's always been here? How are they?
Right. Oh,
how are they making it right now? Because I'm struggling.
Yeah, there's groups, and in fact, before you leave, I'll see if I can give you the name of some people that I've talked to on this program that might be able to help you find peace, or if not the peace, then just to know that you're not alone here. Sometimes therapy is all about sharing, right? Sometimes it's just sitting down with somebody that's had a similar experience than you and say, yeah, we've been through it, and how do we come out the other side? Tim, this is a great example of why there is a necessity for programs just like this, and people like you and Dyron and so many others. It's not just about building a monument.
Absolutely,
can't be.
Absolutely,
it can't be.
Right. But it's actually a start, right? So it gives the awareness for everybody. And one thing that maybe not too many people are aware of, this whole area, including the FSM, RMI, I've all have Gold Star families, And so this memorial, we thank that the government of Guam was able to pass a law to get this thing going, but we're still, reaching out there and asking folks to contribute if they can, just go to the foundation that we've been working with. And Herschel Woody Williams, thanks again for letting us have him call in that last year and give him a story about him coming up ashore on Aston Beach. Nimitz Beach. If you look at this map here, it's got Guam here, right? But they put Guam in the Atlantic side, so I said, hey, it's okay. At least they got us in
they put us in the graphic. They got the artwork in there. Right. I see where all of this needs to head, and an idea that there's more than by way of contributions and more than by way of a monument. There are people that need to be brought together from time to talk about that loss. I mean, a staggering and an immense loss, but shared amongst other people. I'm sure that there are ways that you can mitigate at least some of that pain and help understand a little bit more how to get through it and how to get past it. I think that's one of the things about the artwork that I've seen is there's a place where you can see the other side of the monument. It's not just big one monolithic wall. There's a pathway to the other side.
Right.
Yeah.
And Woody Williams has promised that he'll be here for the unveiling, and the unveiling is actually scheduled to be.
Well, how old did you say he was?
Unveiled. He's 98 years young.
Okay, we better hurry.
But exactly. We want to thank Black Construction. They're taking the lead on building this thing, so we want to thank them. Rocky Mountain Precast and other folks out there that have decided to help us out with this.
Are you doing anything this weekend for? Anytime soon, an opportunity for everybody to get together.
We're going to be doing some more fundraisers.
Put some money in your hat.
Exactly. We're going to be doing some fundraisers, maybe some crazy jumps, doing Jump for 21 or something like that, 21 jumps in one day.
Oh, my God.
And try to...
Have you gone up, have you taken her up on the airplane?
I've been before. I've done it before, but I totally do it again. I'm slightly...
Well, I was
some mobility issues right now, but I would
somebody told me that I should do it on my 60th birthday, and I said no because I'm scared. And they said, "Well, you're going to die soon anyway, so you might as well." And I'm not sure.
Just let me jump with you.
Probably not. No, Tim, I'm not going to jump. I'm not going to jump with you either. The answer is no. The old joke about there's why jump out of a perfectly good working airplane. How do people get a hold of you?
They can call me, or they can go to our website. There's a Facebook, Guam Gold Star Family Memorial Project. We've got a lot of some of the activities that we're doing. I've done in the past. So they can, and there's contact information on there.
Find me, and I'll get you in touch with Tim or Dyron or any number of other people that are a part of this. But one of the concerns that I have, and going back to Emma, is I'd like for you to find a degree of peace. Many people can look at a sunset or a sunrise here on Guam and see a little bit of hope in that. And I hope that you're getting some of that. And I hope in conversations like this, you get to meet people that say, "Hey, me and you were the same."
I think I'm on a good path. Like I just want to see there be some solid stuff for the future. That's what I want to see.
We'll get it going.
I'm not going to be the only Gold Star spouse here. So.
No, we're going to get something going before too much longer.
Some kid stuff. I want to see actual attention and. My poor little, I want to see my kid get some actual, some support too.
It'll happen. It'll happen. And like many things around here, it's got to start somewhere. And it's guys like Tim and Dyron and yourself and the words that you were saying here on the radio that I think will put a little bit of gas and some emphasis on things that have to get taken care of before we can get to that place like it was like when the States, before you came here.
Baby steps.
Baby steps, yeah. Well, we're out here in the fringes of democracy and showbiz. I'm sure you've seen
where America's Day begins. Right?
Where America's Day begins, but I'm sure you've seen the aisles in the grocery stores with nothing in them. You want to talk about the end of many supply chains out here. It's 9:29 in the morning. Ray Gibson Show continues after these messages.
Love is perfect timing. And now is the time to make a move on the apple of your eye. A new iPhone 13 and Apple Watch make the perfect pair. And you can get yours now during GTA's Valentine's Day special. For limited time, buy an iPhone 13 on HPO and get an Apple Watch 7 for free. While supplies last, terms and conditions apply. To find out more, visit gta.net or call us at 671-644-4482. Roses are red, violets are blue. At GTA, we start with you.
Check out the newest hydro and garden center to hit Guam, Crop King Hydro. We have a huge selection of plant nutrients, soils, hydroponic mediums, organic pest control pumps, plant support, tools, and so much more. Call 635-4769. 635-GROW. Open Monday through Saturday, 10 to 6 at the Dededo Satina Mall, right across from Payless and Paradise Fitness. For whatever you grow, think Crop King Hydro. Crop King Hydro.
Rolling in with the fresh take on timeless classics. Try the honey mustard rotisserie style chicken. It's the new Subway rotisserie style chicken with a flavor upgrade, mizzled with honey mustard on hearty multigrain bread and topped with fresh hand-sliced veggies. Craving some heat? The Baja Turkey Avocado hits all the hot notes. Oven roasted turkey stacked high on hearty multigrain speared with smashed avocado and drizzled with the piquant chipotle sauce. Tuck into new subs to savor at Subway. Eat fresh. Raise your glasses for a toast because First Hawaiian Bank now turns your meals into a reason to celebrate. Every dollar you spend on dining purchases, including fast food, earns you up to 3 times United miles. Simply use your First Hawaiian Bank United credit card and start reaping the most rewarding credit card experience on island. Terms and restrictions apply. Don't have a First Hawaiian Bank credit card? Visit any branch or FHB.com to apply today. With First Hawaiian Bank, it all starts with yes.
Guam Auto Spot has the best selection in Buick, GMC, Mitsubishi, and used cars like the 2021 Mitsubishi Mirage starting at $127 per paycheck. 0 down. Call 671-478-AUTO to take a test drive or get pre-approved online at GuamAutospot.com.
Studio time, 9:31 in the morning, 888-825-5888-TALK is a telephone number around these parts here. Lots and lots to talk about for a lot of reasons. Gold Star families, and you heard from Tim, and now you know how to get a hold of him. And you hear from Emma, now you know why it is so important. It's not just a monument, kids. It's about different ways that, everybody needs some kind of a support network. Not everybody can be like me and Real Joe and just, walk through the gates of hell. No, maybe I don't know.
We got to save a seat for Ken.
Amen to that. Is he on? Is he on the line?
Online.
The other young girl is on the line. All right, we'll just into some of that. I'm a little bit disoriented because of the conversation twice in the same morning talking about jumping out of airplanes. That kind of thing never happens. Somebody will say, Ray, that's the universe talking to you. That's God saying there is an item on your bucket list. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? Ken LG, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put together the reverse bucket list. It's the reverse bucket list, and it's going to be stuff that you did in your life, and you say, I will never, ever, 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 ever do that again. And I can tell you what number one is going to be. There was I was in Cairns, Australia with the family, and we'd gone down there, and it was a lovely trip. And we wanted to do something that was adventurous, right? And there was a place where you could go bungee jumping. Okay, now I'll tell you this about that. I've never bungee jumped in my life, but there was a tamer attraction that they had there. And it was called the Minjin Swing. And the idea behind the Minjin Swing was it takes you up. They lift it, it's you and a couple other people in tandem. So they get you in what feels like a hammock. And you're strapped in, and then they crank you up about 300 feet into the air. And they give you a little handheld switch, and they gave me a little handheld switch. A young Mason on one side, Mayumi on the other side, and I didn't know what was going to happen when I hit the switch. But I hit the switch, and then you drop about 200 feet, and then you swing across the jungle canopy. At about 100 miles an hour, and you just kind of go back and forth on this thing. That is the Minjin Swing that they have in Cairns, Australia, and I thought I was going to soil myself.
Well, I saw something similar at the State Fair in California in Sacramento. Mm-hmm. It was called the Rocket Shot. And what they did is they had a crane that was about 150 feet in the air, and you would go and get into the harness. Uh-huh. And the harness was lashed to a ring coming out of a big, huge concrete block, and they gave you a knife. And you would cut the rope yourself, and then it would shoot you about 250 feet into the air. And so it's kind of like a reverse bungee jump. So you start at the ground, you go 150 to 200 feet in the air, yep, is the rocket shot. Then you do the bungee jump. I saw grown men walk away from that having to be carried by their children.
Absolutely. There are ways. I don't understand. There's some people that get into these harrowing circumstances, and I try not to be a fraidy cat about things. I mean, I'm the guy. My personal motto: courage is always rewarded, and I will always try to take a more adventurous path. But then every once in a while, you get into a situation where you just go, okay, this is stupid. This might be the last mistake I'm ever going to make. So it's that reverse bucket list of things that that you should put together that you will never ever do again. And I mean I know guys, me and Real Joe, marriage on that list, right? The reverse.
Be careful what you say about that.
Well,
you gotta be careful.
Listen. You know some of the people that hang out with us on the Facebook Live side and all of that, and they're none there going, "Yep, absolutely right. I'm never marrying Ray Gibson again."
Well, the next item on my list is night, and it's never going to happen again. It was night diving with John Gerber.
Oh,
because John Gerber had a twisted sense of humor.
Yeah,
and we were down at the bottom of Opera Harbor on the Tokai Maru about 11 o'clock at night, and he dropped the flashlight, which immediately shot up to the surface, and it's just a little white dot.
Uh-huh.
but you in the blackest black you can ever imagine, and then all your fears. I knew Jaws was coming. I knew that every nightmare animal was coming after me in the Tokai Maru in the dark. And I have never done a night dive with John Gerson.
Oh my God! Were you were inside the Tokai Maru?
Yeah, we're inside the Tokai Maru, but
there's people that have died doing that.
Yeah, but there's a place there where we were in the hold, you know, and if you've ever been down there, you know the holds are wide open. So it wasn't
yeah. It's like being a fly swimming in a gymnasium. Thank you, no.
Yeah, but when that flashlight floated up to the surface, 135 feet above us, and all you can see is just a little white dot, and that's all you can see. You know, and then you have to. I went through 90 cubic feet of air on my way up.
Intense people, as a matter of fact. 9:37 in the morning. Golly, I miss John. You know, they mention his name and wish that, because every once in a while somebody try to push him in a direction of running for political office, and I wonder if Johnny was still alive at the age that he would be now, if it would be a good time to get in there, because he's one of these guys had a real limited capacity for BS.
Absolutely.
And I could just see him and folks like him in the legislature right now. That would look at some of the things that they're going to be talking about next week when they go back into session and saying, you people are out of your minds. How much of next week's session is going to have anything in there that has any hope of changing anybody's life around here for the better? Or how much of it is going to end up being just, you know, more paper shuffling in the government of Guam for government of Guam employees?
Well, it's all going to be about government employees, but we're not getting away without anything. After all, Sabina Perez is going to see to it that we no longer have paper bags at our disposal when she gets her way. And
repeal and replace, for heaven's sakes. It's just paper bags for God. You know what? It literally grows on trees.
Yeah, but it goes back to the stupidity that this whole legislature circus is going through. And I mean, the fact that they outlawed biodegradable plastic bags, because remember, every store made a big deal about their biodegradable shopping bags, but we're now putting all the trash bags into the landfill. I haven't seen her come out with an anti-trash bag bill yet, but it's coming. I shouldn't have said anything. But, you know, next thing you know, they're going to be against boxes and then shopping carts.
I'm waiting. Before they get to that silliness, it'll be something about plastic bottles, single-use plastic bottles. That's all the rage in Hawaii right now. And you know how much we love to copy people in Hawaii. So I'm sure there's somebody out there trying to put that together to say, well, this is going to be my legacy. I will be the person that bans single-use plastic bottles and will only put 500 people out of jobs. 9:39 in the morning. If you want to get in front of that, get with Ken over the next couple of days, because you've got your little town halls everywhere starting tomorrow.
Yes, starting tomorrow at the Dedido Senior Center at 10 o'clock. And then University of Guam, Small Business and Professional Assembly Building, room 150 at noon. Then the Jonia Community Center at 2 and Megabyte Conference Room at 6 o'clock.
Okay.
And in each one of those meetings, we're going to be highlighting a different aspect of how government is abusing the trust that we place in them with our votes, and how we as citizens can correct it. Because that's what the voter initiative process is all about, having citizens make common sense law. So instead of introducing a law that's going to ban paper bags, what we as citizens are going to do is introduce a law that's going to allow citizens to file charges against government officials for corruption. Because we know we can't wait for the Attorney General to do it, but everybody you know will tell you a story. And I mean, just the other day, someone was telling me a story about someone who got a building permit without having to go through the due process. Okay, that we all hear stories like that, or we hear about someone getting some special favor from government of Guam, like all those people that got commercial driver's licenses without having to take the test, or people who don't get tax bills, or people who refuse to pay tax bills. And then we have a revenue and tax that will still issue a business license to a business that hasn't paid their taxes. But if you or I tried to renew our business license without our taxes, what do you think would happen?
Straight to jail.
Absolutely. So that's why we as citizens have 6 initiatives that if we pass them, will make it easier for regular people, not just political, well-connected insiders, to get into the legislature and set policy for our island, because that's what we're short of, common sense. I mean, go back to the dumb hiker, dumb swimmer bill. I mean, it was what, $200,000 to print up pamphlets and booklets that say, don't swim during rip tides and don't hike without notifying people where you're hiking. Or how about that incredible whole thing we went through with the plastic bags, but everything in the plastic bag is encased in plastic. And then we have the retroactive pay raises for policymakers, for senators and governors, but not for the employees. And we're going to do it again. We're going to spend $2 million just before Election Day telling people of Guam, if you vote for us, we'll give you a pay raise. And we're seeing that happen with the executive pay raises that are being handed out willy-nilly. And in the meantime, those of you who have businesses are being forced to shoulder a larger burden of the government's expenses.
Those of you with businesses are being forced into lines. A lot of people don't realize this is the time of the line. Yes, Eric the Eagle. We got to talk to that guy again soon. There is the wings thundering in the distance. Out there is hope out there yet that somebody, the one person that all in government fear, Doug Moylan, might actually be taking up a position over at the Attorney General's office. All right, Ken, we played the music. I got to let you go. I want you to have a great weekend. Happy Valentine's Bowl.
Okay, thank you very much.
All right, happy to help. You follow him on Facebook and social medias. You can usually find him over on the Candid thing. And he'll be, is that patriotic music I hear? Yes, Colin. It'll happen from time to time, and usually with Ken on the line, where we might be treading into what sounds like soaring language there. And to the degree that it would be insensitive if I did it, some of the comments that came out of the governor's office yesterday, let me just say this. So those were some soaring words, and I'm sure that they brought some solace to some people who have lost so much in the COVID-19 times. 9:44 in the morning, 888-8255-888-TALK. But lots of stuff on that we've talked about today, much of which has been remarked about and referred to in the Facebook Lives. Supervised release, and he actually left one state to get to another. Is that, what kind of supervision is that? That's Donna Mila asking, I think, a pretty interesting question about a guy whose story is in the front page of the newspaper. Ex-prison guard admits to going on drug binge. What? And so he was out on supervised relief, but he had this drug binge thing. Where was that? Vegas or someplace like that? Out in the States. So, being, talked to with John Gorman and cousin Mike here on Guam, where he's admitting to getting in trouble over there. And I'd say that maybe that we need to redefine, as we have with the words pandemic, endemic, immunity, vaccine. I think we need to redefine what we mean when we say. I think good point there, Donna. We got Jerome McDonald. Oh, some of these are old. Referring to Billy Joel's ex-wife. That was on the cover of Life magazine, Christy Brinkley, and the stories there. Let me see.
Uptown Girl.
Carl Meyer. Aboard Asiana Air. Hey.
That's a decent price.
That's a flight attendants. Right? on that one?
Yeah.
And I'm sorry. I sort of filtered on that one, but I think many people know exactly what I mean here. Let me see. Is Thailand and Cambodia only $100 more? Fine. What are the entry requirements for Thailand and Cambodia? Have they snapped back to their senses as well? Do I still need a vaccine? Let me see. What Colin wants to know. Whatever happened to that old lady that was a sex therapist? The little one, the little midget, literally the little old lady. I don't know. I don't keep up with her. Dr. Ruth?
Dr. Ruth.
There we go. Bonnie Suba. Okay, this is Bonnie Suba and Bo Shelley. In one of the hours that I did, I put up a picture of Cosmopolitan magazine. This one here comes to us in the timeline from February of 1982. This would have been wouldn't have meant a thing to me in 1982 because in 1982 I was 20 years old. But in 2022, as I look at this, now I'd like to get a copy of this magazine and read the article that they said talking about the sexual aura of the powerful older man. Now, just so you know, I've Googled that kind of thing in the past, May December relationships and that kind of thing, just so I can continue to live with some degree of hope in my life. And I've Googled that in the past, and there seems to be, I don't know, I'd bring this up on Valentine's weekend. Oh, because it's in my head, that's why. But there seems to be kind of a push of one kind or another, probably put together by powerful older men on the features and benefits of dating an older guy, somebody from a different generation, and in some cases, a couple of generations away from you, grew up different lifestyle, different standards of all kinds of things, different standards of expectations of beauty, sexuality, that kind of thing, and they say basically they're saying. And I'm wondering if this said it in 1982, that maybe that's what you need to target here as your life goal. Go ahead. You're having a good time in your 20s and your 30s or something like that. Great. But after about 35, you start buckling down. And anybody in your age group, any other member of the opposite sex in your age group is an idiot. Right? Man bun, capri shorts wearing, beta male, soy latte drinking idiots. And so if you want real men, you're going to have to go and find guys that were born before, say, 1970. Right? Anything after that, you're taking your chances. And certainly anybody born after 2000, forget about it. Forget it. Two mask wearers. It's at 9:48 in the morning. Now who's on the phone?
It's Bistra.
Oh, Bistra, yeah. Rusinova, Mendiola.
Intelligent Bistra.
Yes. Oh, thanks so much for joining me. You're a breath of fresh air, and you always make me, when you call in, it kind of elevates the intelligence level of the program.
Oh, my gosh. Thank you so much.
Well, okay, now you got to live up to it.
Well, yes, of course. Well, I quickly wanted to jump in and kind of call out Dr. Bob on his wonderful statement that natural immunity is not all that it's cracked up to be. That's an actual quote from his statement yesterday. Our favorite department, DPHSS, and your favorite Chanel, they hosted a press conference yesterday.
The video. I've got the video. Can I play the video?
Oh, heck yeah.
Let's play this video. There was a conversation taking place over at, the Chanel was on, and she was on with a couple of the folks over at the Department of I'm talking around it because I didn't actually watch it. And then Haiti from over at the Guam Daily Post brought up the idea that, there was the pandemic of the unvaccinated. There were all these people that were told that it was the pandemic of the unvaccinated, and almost immediately Chanel began to walk back the story. This is what it sounded like.
Yep. Stated that this is the pandemic of the unvaccinated.
I also want to add, Heidi, that I don't think public health has ever stated that.
A pandemic of the unvaccinated.
I don't think those words were ever uttered by anybody at public health.
A pandemic of the unvaccinated.
The directors never said that. I've never said that. None of our deputies. IC's never said that.
A pandemic of the unvaccinated.
Our CPHO at the time has never ever said those words. Nobody at Public Health has ever used those words, that line.
We are battling a pandemic of the unvaccinated. A pandemic of the unvaccinated.
Pretty clear.
In order to fully participate in society, you must do your part and get vaccinated.
And the mandates, Lou, is the graphic that you've got on this, and somebody else had typed in the pandemic of too much government, and we can only, and I assume that anybody listening to this broadcast is agreeing. It's enough now. Can we put aside the notion after 2 years that public health, the governor's office, physicians advisory group is going to come up with anything that really, honestly, is going to do anything more than just inconvenience people? Everything that has come out of the administration of Joe Biden has been a fabrication or contradictory to what eventually works out. And everybody says, well, it's unprecedented times, and out of an abundance of caution, follow the science and do all of this stuff. Well, there's a whole lot of people that followed the science, and there's 40 of them at Guam Memorial Hospital right now, 50 of them, and most of them are vaccinated.
Yes. By the way, to come back to what Dr. Bob said in this press conference, he really dismissed the protection that people could get, should they get the natural infection. I cannot believe that these guys continuously dismiss a well-known fact. Everybody and their mom are currently studying what this COVID-19 does to immune system, and the findings are no different than first probably year in med school 101 immunology. All immunologists know this. Our immune system learns how to fight and combat a new pathogen that enters, and we create memory cells that can combat the same pathogen should it enter again. Now, the protection against Omicron is different, yes, because it's mutated. However, 56% is the current top protection level you can get should you have all other variants and you happen to get the Omicron, and that is to develop a symptomatic disease. And the actual percentage against a severe disease and hospitalization is actually a 95% interval. So I'm sorry, people, what are we talking about again? We continuously want to shoot out the message that you need to get vaccinated because it's yes, sure, okay, but we now see that majority of folks that are getting reinfected are vaccinated. Majority of the folks that have been arriving, even recently, have been vaccinated. Dr. Ann said, well, they didn't even know that they're sick. Well, of course, what happened to dying of old age, people?
Oh, that's been outlawed. You're not allowed to die of old age.
Yeah, absolutely.
And nobody has ever died and then gone to the hospital before. That hardly ever happened. It never happened in history. Who was dead on arrival? How did we even come up with that acronym, DOA? It's never existed before.
Of course. And I really, really want to strongly encourage Dr. Bob, before he makes those kind of statements, to go ahead and probably come back to Immunology 101. I will gladly send him some links over YouTube that are, from the California University of California for mere mortals like us, who want to learn. They're very nicely put together, very easy to digest. I want to send him those links so he can actually, those were done like 5 years ago, so nothing to do with COVID, okay?
Right. And that's a point that needs to be said, is we already know how remarkable the immune system is that we've got around here, but even with COVID-19, and all the studies seem to be pointing in this direction, even if you are unvaccinated, if you're unvaccinated and you've been exposed to COVID-19, been positive for COVID-19, not only are you in better shape, not only you've got a degree of immunity because of that, number one. Number two, your immune system is now stronger as a result of it. It has made the genetic change that our bodies have been making with our immune system since the beginning of time. It's making us stronger. And the vaccine doesn't do that.
Correct. And you know why? Let me tell you why. Because when you get a natural infection, your body gets exposed to the entire pathogen, not just a portion of it, which in the mRNA vaccines is the spike protein only. When you get a natural infection, your body meets the entire virus in its whole genome, and everything gets introduced, right? And what happened actually, now that they started to pay attention, what our immune system does. They're studying it to produce in the future better vaccines. And it turns out that, one of the surprises for it shouldn't be a surprise, but anyways, they got surprised that the Johnson & Johnson vaccines, for example, elicits a weaker immune response than the mRNA vaccine initially, but then it actually starts to get better over time. And this is from, I believe, University of Arizona in Tucson. People from there, they were studying this, and they're really intrigued by this. But why? It shouldn't be a surprise, because when you get more parts of the virus, your body can recognize more parts of the virus, and your B-cell memory will remember that in the future. Yes, it's completely normal, our bodies to wean, kind of the antigen to wean in a few months, but that's normal, because can you imagine what happens to an immune system gets bombarded constantly? You're going to get into super inflammation mode and you'll die. So it's completely normal reaction. And then once it weans down, should it encounter a new infection, then the memory B and T cells will kick in. And that's a completely known scientific fact, and I still cannot wrap it around my head. Why, Dr. Bob? Why?
Well, here's and people might be listening. Go, what's all this other COVID-19 BS science and whatever? Why is that important? It's important because one of the things that we have to do around here is get back to normality. It's my combined word because I can never remember which one makes Bob Klitsky crazy. But at any rate, so we need to get back to normality around here. We've got to find a way to get some certainty in our lives for our kids, for our families, for our businesses, for people that are hoping that they back the right pony when they move their families out here to Guam to make a start in their lives, as opposed to hearing from Millie Luana Fison tells me that they got a gallon of milk there for $1 something. Her electric bill is $80 or something like that, and the store shelves they're full. They're bustling with all of the things that they need out in Arizona. People will vote with their wallets and their feet, and that's why this is all important. That's why all of this stuff matters. Bistra, it's always a pleasure talking with you. I hope I have an opportunity. Happy Valentine's Bowl to you and TJ.
Oh, same to you. I hope you have someone special to spend your Valentine's, because I have 3 wonderful guys to spend it with.
Well, that's very, very interesting. As far as spending Valentine's with somebody special, does the waitress at Carabao count? Because they're going to be open on Monday. They're going to be open on Monday. Listen, I got to go. 9:58 and change. There's Bistro. My name is Ray. If you are running for political office, you've got 3 platforms in my mind. One of them is COVID-19. We've got to get out from under all of this stuff. Certainty needs to be restored as much as possible. The second one is the economy. The economy of Guam it's going to be headed into the toilet like everybody else's economy, but we're out here at the fringes of democracy and showbiz, so it's going to be worse for us than anybody else. Just take a look at the picture I showed you early. And the other one is crime. We've got to do something about crime. We need to send a message. I told you it's virtually every day. I am part of the MTM Village chat and the WhatsApp group, and virtually every day there is somebody posting a video of somebody just kind of meandering around the yard. Like, hey, whatever, never mind the sidewalk, never mind the street, just cut across my yard. You see something you like, go ahead and grab it. This guy walking around, what you don't hear is the family's alarm going off, and he's putting his shirt on and vamoosing in case he stumbled onto a family that has a gun on top of an alarm system. Gee, who do I know like that? It's just in front of 10 o'clock in the morning. Look, big crazy weekend ahead of us. If you see me out there after midnight somewhere, send me home. If you're hot, take me home. Happy Valentine's Bowl to you. We will be working on Valentine's morning. What we're going to talk about and who we're going to talk to, no clue. No idea whatsoever. It'll be a surprise for both of us. So catch us back here 6 o'clock on Monday morning. It's 10. Here's Fox News.
Launching an investigation. I'm Lisa Lacera, Fox News. The House Oversight Committee is looking into reported violations of the Presidential Records Act by former President Trump after boxes of records were found at his Florida home.
Committee Chair Democrat Carolyn Maloney says she is deeply concerned records were not provided to the National Archives. The National Archives